is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Even in the waning days of this difficult season, a 4-game win streak is something worth talking about. With a sweep over Atlanta and a series opening win against the A's, your Rangers are making an impact on the playoff race. Another streak worth talking about is the walkless inning streak by tonight's starter Derek Holland. At 21 innings, he's just 8 away from the Rangers' record. Holland has been superb since his return to the club, and he looks to continue pitching well when the Rangers meet Oakland next. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T Ubers TV. Well, the clouds are rolling in over O'Dotco Coliseum, but no danger of rain tonight. It may be raining Ranger runs if they keep it up. They take on the Oakland Athletics in Game 2 of this 3-game set. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Delighted you could join us on this Wednesday night of Rangers baseball. Rangers on a 4-game winning streak. That is their second longest streak of the season. Tonight they look to tie the best for 2014. And they're going to turn to Derek Holland, who has been their hottest pitcher of late.
He has, Buzz. He's got some pretty good things going for him. Pretty nice streak going for him right now. He's had 3 starts. He's pitched 7 innings in all 3 starts. He's given up 1 run in 2 of the starts. And he hasn't walked the batter in 21 innings. All his pitches are working as if he'd never missed a day. He's had a good fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. Again, he hasn't walked the batter. He's been at the top of his game, and hopefully it will continue tonight. He'll face the A's and Jeff Smarja. Should be a nice pitcher's duel.
Could be a good pitcher's matchup tonight, and the Rangers offense looks to keep things going. They have been scoring some runs in bunches. Adrian Beltre and company looking to keep it going. We'll come back with the starting lineup from the first pitch right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event, now playing at a Ford dealer near you. By AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. And by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Well, a very comfortable night here at Odotco Coliseum in the East Bay. Jeff Samardzija and the A's taking the field. And before we get things underway on the field, let's head down and check in with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, Buzz, as you know, Derek Holland has been a pitcher on a mission since returning from the DL, a trend he hopes to continue here tonight.
Every time we go out, we're playing potential, playoff teams. So we want to go out there and do whatever it takes to spoil them, take care of that, keep them from going where we want to go. Perfect one is obviously Oakland being able to, they've done it to us. We definitely want to do it to them. So, I mean, it's just one of those things, but we just got to worry about each game at a time. Don't get too far ahead of it.
Yeah, but definitely a little something extra for Derek and those guys who he mentioned have been on the receiving end of Oakland's spoiling a time or two in the past. We'll see how he responds here tonight, fellas.
All right, Emily, thank you. Derek, I'm trying to condense a full season into just the month that he's going to have to work with, but boy, he is doing a good job of condensing. He has been, as Tom told you, outstanding in his first 3 starts. So he will try to keep that going here tonight and keep his A's team down a bit. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines Texas Rangers batting order this evening that Tim Bogar has put together. Leonis Martin leads off. Elvis Andrus is next. Then it's the second baseman, Rougned Odor. Adrian Beltre bats cleanup. J.P. Arancibia hitting 5th and playing DH tonight. Robinson Chirinos is catching. Jake Smolinski, the first start in the outfield for him since coming back. He's in left field. Adam Rosales at first, and batting 9th, the right fielder, Daniel Robertson.
We'll check our Sonic scouting report for Jeff Samardzija. He's 6-12, but don't be fooled by that. He's got an excellent ERA. He's very tough to hit, a good opponent's batting average. 34 strikeouts, 3 walks in his last 4 starts. He's allowed 1 or fewer runs in 9 of his 30 starts. And in those starts, he has 7 no decisions. He's only 2-0 during those starts, those 9 starts, 1 run or fewer.
And the first pitch from Samardzija to Leonis Martin is outside for ball 1. So we are underway on a very comfortable evening. 7 minutes past 7 Pacific time. Leonis Martin, a .281 hitter. Showing bunt. He had his 14th bunt base hit last night, and that's the tops in the American League and 3rd best in all of baseball. Leonis, 7 home runs, 37 RBI from that leadoff spot. The 2-0 pitch. And that is high, ball 3. Martin trying to get aboard any way he possibly can. He's been doing that a lot lately. He'll be followed by Elvis Andrus, the Ranger shortstop. Samardzija back to the plate and throws strike 1.
Well, Samardzija has 2 walks or less in his last 13 starts. He's had excellent command with the A's, 12 walks in 89 2/3 innings.
Now the 3-1. 3-2.
Had good movement on his fastball. It tails, it sinks. We've seen him twice, I think, in exhibition games against the Cubs in Las Vegas during spring training.
Right. Yeah, primarily that good sinking fastball and a sharp slider. He'll throw a 4-seam fastball that he'll get in on left-handers. That looked like it right there. That had a little cutting action to it, and Leonis fouled it back.
We've only seen him those 2 times, and I'm not sure if he's doing anything different in his delivery, but it looks a little bit different, almost like he's turning his back to the hitter a little bit more than he used to.
Another 3-2 to Martin. Hard hit, but right at the second baseman. And Punto throws out Leonis. That is out number 1. So Samardzija comes back from a 3-0 count to get the ground out. 1 away for Elvis Andrus. Now we'll take a look at the progressive defense for the Athletics tonight. You have Johnny Gomes getting the start in left, Coco Crisp in center. Sam Fuld is in right. Nate Fryman at first. You saw Nick Punto at second base. Jed Lowry, the shortstop. Josh Donaldson at third base. And former Ranger Giovanni Soto is on the mound and working with Jeff Samardzija, who Giovanni caught when they were both with the Cubs. Here's Elvis. He takes strike one. Elvis at 262. A couple of home runs, 36 driven in. As we chronicled for you last night, Elvis having the downturn now affect him offensively. That slider. He's 5 for his last 32 times to the plate. And Elvis down on the count here. No balls, 2 strikes. Last 8 ball games. It's that 5 for 32 streak we were just talking about. Samardzija with the 0-2.
Talking about Samardzija and how well he's pitched, lack of support, a losing record. He's had 4 starts without allowing a run this year and hasn't won any of them. Obviously hasn't lost any of them, but 4 no decisions in his 4 starts where he hasn't given up a run.
Just outside. Yeah, you would really be going bad if you were losing those.
Figured a way to lose one of those.
Yeah, not giving up a run and still lose. That'd be a problem.
Scorer's decision. I don't like it. I'm giving you the loss.
Elvis waiting the 2-2 pitch. Donaldson cuts it off the third baseman. Triggers a throw, and that is out number 2. And that's another thing you'll see a lot from Jeff Samardzija. The ground ball comes into play with that good sinker-slider combination. Next will be Rougned Odor.
Second baseman.
The Rangers coming into play tonight, that 4-game winning streak we were talking about, that is one shy of their season best 5-game winning streak. The last time they had that was back in the middle of April, the 15th through the 19th of April. That seems like 5 years ago. It's the only time they have had more than 4 wins in a row this year. Tim Bogart watching that particular time as the bench coach. He is now the interim manager. Ball club 5-5 with Tim Bogart at the helm. 1-0 pitch. Kind of tied up. There's that cutting action fastball that Samardzija will deal. 1-1 to Odor, a .257 hitter. 8 home runs, 41 RBI. Missed with that, like a changeup that was low. And it's 2-1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of a changeup that is. I call it a splitter. I don't know if it's a splitter or just a regular changeup. It looks like it goes straight down, though, as it gets to the hitter.
Well, that's what Fangraphs calls it, a splitter.
Do they call it a splitter?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll trust them.
I'm trusting.
Odor to the gap in left center. That is going to be down and up to the wall. Odor into second. A ringing 2-out double to the gap in left center. A good piece of hitting there by Rougned Odor.
You know, there was a point in time about a month ago where some people might have looked at Odor and said, well, he's getting a little bit tired. The big leagues it's catching up with him a little bit. But he doesn't look tired now, boy. The last month he has been swinging the bat. He just put a charge in that tailing fastball. And he's shown the ability to hit the ball with power for a 20-year-old who I don't think that was necessarily expected of him. Maybe as he got older, but not when he was 20 years old. And we've seen that second deck home run that he hit in Houston. We've seen the ball he hit to left field into the visiting bullpen at our ballpark. And he's not up there slapping base hits around. He's up there driving the ball, boy.
Ball jumps off his bat pretty well when he
does.
Centers it up. Well, here's a guy who's centered up a few. How about Adrian Beltre at 325 as he faces Samardzija. Makes that pitch on the inside corner. So Samardzija working both corners as ahead 0-2. Adrian in his last 7 ball games a .360 average. He is trailing Altuve, and our Fox pitch tracker showing you that there was a little difference of opinion on that last pitch. Chopper out to Punto, and Beltre is retired. The Rangers are gone, so the 2 out. Rougned Odor, double, goes for naught. 1 left after a half inning. Rangers nothing. A's coming up. But failed to score him, so we'll go to the A's lineup for the bottom of the first inning. They will face Derek Holland. Coco Crisp, the center fielder, leads off. Sam Fuld is in right field. Josh Donaldson, third baseman, batting third tonight. Johnny Gomes in left field. Derek Norris is the DH. Jed Lowry hits sixth and plays shortstop. Nate Fryman at first. Giovanni Soto behind the plate. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Nick Punto.
And we'll look at our Sonic scouting report for Derek Holland. He's had 3 starts this year. They've all been excellent. He's 1-0 with an ERA under 1. The first pitcher since 1900 with at least 7 innings, 1 run or fewer allowed, and no walks in each of his first 3 starts. Now, Derek's first 3 starts are in September. Most guys' first 3 starts are in April, but nevertheless, his first 3 starts has accomplished something that was last done in 1900. That's pretty amazing.
He definitely is on a roll, and that is something he looked forward to for 5.5 months of rehabilitation. Getting back out there and helping the ball club out. 1-1 pitch is inside to Coco Crisp. 2 balls and a strike. Crisp, of course, the switch hitter up there from the right side. 254 average. 9 home runs, 45 driven in. 4 out of 19 against Derek Holland in his career. And he skies one to right field. Daniel Robertson peering up into the twilight and makes the catch. Fortunately, there's some clouds up there, so the twilight is a little bit darker with the clouds. Well, 1 gone, and take a look at the Ranger defense. The rest of it delivered to you by Break Check tonight. You saw Daniel Robertson in right, Leonis Martin in center, and Jake Smolinski to start in left field. Rosales at first, Odor and Andrews at the middle, Beltre at third, Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. And the 27-year-old left-hander Derek Holland is on the hill. Sam Fuld takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Fuld a 246 average. That is overall. That's the time here and also with the Twins. Fuld here in Oakland hitting just 217. But he has 3 of his 4 home runs and 16 of his 33 RBI in an A's uniform. It's a 3-hopper out to Rougned Odor. Very quickly, 2 gone here in the first, and Josh Donaldson will be next. Derek Holland, the one thing I've noticed about Derek, especially consistency-wise, is that his tempo has been almost the same every single time out and for every single pitch. It hasn't varied 1 iota.
Well, he's definitely working quickly too. He's not taking a lot of time between pitches, so he's getting the ball, and you're right, Buzz. He's in a good groove right now.
And typically, that's what happens. You get in a groove like that, and your pitch execution is much better. And Derek has been very, very good at that. Donaldson takes that first off-speed breaking ball high for ball one, and Derek not real thrilled with the execution of that pitch. Donaldson, a .255 average. He is the team leader for the A's with 27 home runs and 95 RBI. 1 ball and 1 strike. 14 home runs against left-handed pitching this year. That's the most by an A's hitter against left-handers since Mark McGwire back in 1995. Shallow center field, the honest mark team there, and it's a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Derek Holland. 10 pitch total in the first, and 3 are out. After 1, we are scoreless in Oakland. Your donation to the Rangers Foundation will help even more kids through North Texas Giving Day. Make a donation of $25 or more at northtexasgivingday.org for the Texas Ranger Baseball Foundation, and those funds are eligible for $2 million in bonus funds and prizes. Please make a donation tomorrow to the foundation, the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation. J.P. Arancibia starting off the top of the second inning. If Samardzija deals just off the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Arancibia 172 with 9 home runs and 32 RBI. JP's had his at-bats kind of cut down with all the young players that the Rangers want to take a look at this final month. 2-1 now. Still found a way to be productive, though. He's had a couple of big hits in the last week or so. Samardzija, the 6'5" right-hander, goes to the wind. 2 balls and 2 strikes. JP in his last 3 ball games, here's what we were talking about: 3 for 10 with a home run, a double, and the RBI. Now the 2-2 offering. All strike 3, and JP knew it. Samardzija locked him up with a breaking ball. First strikeout for the right-hander.
Well, Samardzija has a good fastball, 93 to 95 in this game. That one was a fairly straight fastball. He throws one that cuts a little bit and one that sinks and tails into a right-hand hitter. That one just went right down the middle of the plate at about 95 miles an hour.
Locked me up with a fastball,
Yeah.
too. I thought it was a breaking ball. Here's Robinson Chirinos taking inside for ball one. Robinson, 241, 11 home runs, 36 driven in. Chirinos last night 1 for 3 and drove in a run. As a matter of fact, in the 3 games that he's been back now since having the neck problem, he's had an RBI in each of those 3 games. Foul ball off the mask of former teammate Giovanni Soto. Hayes had to go out and get Soto when they started having injury problems again. John Jaso finished for the year with concussion problems. And Stephen Vogt had all kinds of ankle problems, so he's been limited. Can't catch, and they're hoping to get him back to be able to play a little bit of first base if possible. 1-1. 2-1 now. That 3-game streak for Chirinos, 5 for 11 with those 3 runs driven in. Two and 2. I mentioned the Rangers having won 4 straight. They've also played well in this ballpark. They are 5-2 against Oakland here at Odotco Coliseum this year. Just 6-7 overall, but they have already won the season series here in Oakland for 2014. Chirinos, a drive to center field that sends Chris back. He's at the track and halfway back on the warning track. Makes the catch as Chirinos gives it about a 395-foot ride, but it stays in the ballpark.
Yeah, he had some good swings in that at bat. He had a fastball to hit that he fouled off, and then he got one down and out over the plate. Hit it about 395 feet to dead center field. Kind of a sinking fastball. Hit it pretty well, but not quite well enough to get it out of here in dead center field at night.
71-degree evening here, and a breeze drifting out toward right field, or right center field, as Jake Smolinski takes strike one. Smolinski, his first major league home run last night. You get a look at the flags that, depending on what part of the ballpark you're in, will be pointing different directions. It swirls in here. 0-1 pitch from Samardzija. Smolinski at 375 overall. Just back off the disabled list. Playing in last night's ball game, his first outing was the DH last night. Went 1 for 4 with that home run. A ball and 2 strikes. This is the 12th start this year for Smolinski at the big league level. He's hit safely in 8 of his first 11 starts. I remember when he got hurt, fouled that ball off his foot in New York back at the end of July. He was the hottest Ranger hitter going. And the appeal to first, he went around. And that will do it. Samardzija has a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts. An inning and a half have gone by here in Oakland. Rangers nothing, A's nothing. in the bottom of the second. It's time for you to tweet your photo for a chance to have it shown on one of our upcoming broadcasts. And that's thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Simply use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during one of our upcoming broadcasts. Show you our fan photo selection for tonight a little bit later on. Johnny Gomes starting things off, the number 4 hitter for the Oakland A's against Derek Holland. And Gomes takes a fastball on the inside corner, 1-1 the count now.
The A's probably platoon more than any team in baseball. Tonight, for instance, Adam Dunn, Josh Reddick, Eric Sogard, Brandon Moss, all on the bench. Stephen Vogt normally would be playing. He's got a little bit of an injury. Well, they're almost a 2-platoon system. Gomes has hit well against righties, but not nearly as well against lefties. 280 and 170 against right-hand pitching. Probably why they platoon.
That's foul back. The count evens now at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Gomes, of course, coming over from the Boston Red Sox with John Lester, the trade that sent Yoenis Cespedes to Fenway Park. Still much controversy surrounding the 2 trades that Billy Beane has made out here. That pitch is popped up. Adrian Beltre with all kinds of room over there on the third base side in foul territory makes the grab, and Gomes is retired for out number 1. Next will be Derek Norris. You hear the sports talk shows and read some of the columns in the paper about it. Was it the right thing to do? Does it have an impact on how the A's are playing right now? And you know, on the surface, you could make a connection between the A's kind of going south and the trades. But when you look at it, I think a little more in depth, the direct relationship probably isn't there. They just hit a downturn, and whether it was Cespedes or whoever was taken out of the lineup, they were playing well, and they took a key guy out of the lineup and tried to get better pitching, and it just hasn't worked.
No, it hasn't. And maybe it's a coincidence, but since Cespedes has not been here, they have not been the same offense. Guys that hit well when he was here have not hit well since he left. So I don't know if that's the reason or not.
You know, Derek Norris got a hanging breaking ball from Holland, banged it into left field for the first hit of the night for the A's against Holland.
It looked like he was trying to throw that on the outside part of the plate, maybe a few inches outside, and bring it back to touch the outside corner. Instead, you see where it touched right in the middle of the plate. Fortunately, that was not a ball that Norris elevated.
Yeah.
And it stayed on the ground and was only a single.
So 1 on, 1 out. Here's the switch hitting shortstop, Jed Lowry. And a double play ground ball out to Elvis. To Odor, back to Rosales. Thank you very much. 6-4-3, and just like that, that single is negated. The 2 ball off Derek Holland. After 2, no score. and heart-pounding excitement, plus a little historic performance. Don't miss the 2014 Major League Baseball postseason, I should say, beginning September the 30th. Check MLB.com for schedules for Major League Baseball's postseason this year. Adam Rosales starting things off against Jeff Samardzija. Rosales, the number 8 hitter, takes high and outside for ball 1. Rosales, Robertson, and Leonis Martin. 282 the average for the former Oakland A. Human yo-yo last year between the A's and the Rangers, and he pounds one down the third baseline. It's a fair ball headed toward the corner. Gomes goes into the corner to dig it out, and cruising into second with a leadoff two-bagger is Adam Rosales. 7th double of the year for the Ranger first baseman.
Now, it looked like Samardzija threw him an off-speed pitch. Adam was out in front of it, but he was able to pull it right past Donaldson. See where that pitch ended up. He wants it down and away. It's a slider pretty much right near the middle of the plate. Oh, a good start to the 3rd inning for the Rangers. Adams on with a double. Daniel's job to get him over right here, whether you can hit a ground ball to the right side or bunt it to third base, whichever way. First baseman's way in. If you hit a ground ball to him, he might be able to make a play at third base. Safest way is to bunt it to third base.
Robertson takes low for ball 1. And we saw Daniel last night chop a ball over the first baseman's head.
That'll work.
Daniel at 275 with 18 RBI. That was the play in which Rougned Odor scored all the way from first on a single to right field. Inside and low, 2-0. And Daniel showing no inclination toward bunting with Rosales at second base. Imagine Tim Bogart going to give him at least one shot to see if he can't swing the bat and at least get him over, maybe score Rosales if he gets a base hit.
Well, Daniel handles the bat pretty well. Feels like he can do that. I wouldn't think Samardzija is a simple guy to say I'm going to hit the ball to right field against him.
And Daniel just 2 for his last 16, but won't stop his ability to get runners over. He's pretty good at handling the bat. Good, solid, fundamental baseball player. Around a bunt here, and he bunts through it. 2-2 now. And you're not particularly thrilled with that effort.
Yeah, that's not a real good sacrifice attempt right there. More of a drag bunt attempt. Kind of slapped at the ball instead of getting the head of the bat around and making sure you get the ball down. You don't have to bunt for a base hit right there. Big thing is to try to get the runner to third.
Samardzija, a little inside move just to make sure that Adam Rosales wasn't wandering too far off the bag. Two balls, 2 strikes. Rosales at second, nobody out. Scoreless ball game here in the 3rd. Check swing, he went around. Samardzija's really worked over Daniel Robertson for the strikeout.
Yeah, he's tough. He can make the ball cut both ways. Slice one way, cut the other way. You have to at least respect his off-speed pitches, but he can throw and does throw a lot of fastballs because of the different ways that he can make it move. So if you're up there to try to hit to right field or to try to bunt, he's not a simple guy to do it against, that's for sure.
Well, a very big first out. Rosales still at second. Leonis Martin up for his second at bat. When he got fisted on that fastball, it's a good thing he didn't put that in play because that wouldn't have gone very far.
I don't think he could have lifted that one over the infield. They might have had to come in for it a little bit.
Giovanni Soto out to talk to Samardzija. Of course, Soto has a pretty good idea of having watched all the Ranger hitters, or most of the Ranger hitters. He wasn't there for some of the younger players when they came up. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Leonis Martin, as we mentioned, the 14 bunt hits. That's best in the American League this year. Ranger record for bunt hits How about Otis Dixon? 23 of them. Otis again tied up by a Smarja pitch. And don't you know that was what Giovanni Soto went out there to remind Jeff Smarja about Leonys Martin. You want to keep the ball in on him. Don't let him get his arms extended at all. No balls, 2 strikes. Now 1-2. Of course, the other part of that equation is too, you can have the right idea, but the guy's got to be able to execute the pitch. I think Smarja is able to do that more often than not.
It definitely looks like he can.
Rosales getting his lead at second. The 1-2. Another check swing. That the breaking ball down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leonys, another good night last night. 2 for 5, a stolen base. Last 10 ball games, he's hit almost 400, 395. Really made an effort that time to get the head of the bat out. Chopped it foul. That 10-game span that we were talking about, a home run and 2 runs driven in those 10 games. Smarja a check at second. Got him swinging. Smarja, after giving up the leadoff double, gets back-to-back strikeouts. 2 gone. Elvis Andrus coming up. Before he steps in, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. The Royals are winning. The Tigers are losing. Getting pretty interesting again in that wild card and Central division. The last swing by Leonys Martin, and the backswing got Giovanni Soto on top of the head. Giovanni's, get that hand off my head. I'm all right.
My catcher. They fooled him with that off-speed pitch. Had him waving at it way out in front of it. Trying not to waste a leadoff double. 4 of the last 5 outs have been strikeouts.
And the American League Central that we were talking about, starting play tonight. Royals a game and a half back of the Tigers. Tigers' magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 10. That's a playoff spot. It could be a wild card spot. It could be the Central Division. Elvis Andrus caught looking, so Samardzija gives up a leadoff double and then proceeds to punch out the next 3 hitters. Rangers strand their second runner of the game after 2.5. No score in Oakland. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. And by the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. A beautiful shot of the Bay Bridge connecting downtown San Francisco and the East Bay. Bottom of the third inning. And Nate Fryman, number 7 hitter, leading off for Bob Melvin's Oakland A's. It'll be Fryman, Soto, and Punto. Holland fires a strike to even the count. 1-1. Nate Fryman, a .215 average, 5 home runs. But he has had great numbers against Derek Holland, 4 for 9 in his career. A little bit late with that swing, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
Gaylord Perry has the Ranger record for consecutive innings without a walk. Back in 1977, it was 29. It's getting closer and closer.
Yep. 23 now.
Yep.
So. 2-2, the count to Fryman. Holland back to the plate. Try the 2-2 pitch again. Fryman, a long, tall drink of water. He's 6'8". Big man, plays first base and DHs for Oakland. Couldn't stop it in time, and Derek Holland has his first strikeout of the night. Fryman gone. 1 away for Giovanni Soto.
That's probably the way the majority of Derek's strikeouts this year have come. He's struck out now 18 in 23 innings. And that's the pitch that's pretty much getting the right-hand hitters to miss with 2 strikes. The slider down and in.
Our Ford leaderboard, wins by left-handed pitchers in Ranger franchise history. Of course, Kenny Rogers way out in front, and Darren Oliver with 60. He's 73 behind Kenny Rogers, and then Derek Holland with 50. Elvis drops it, but recovers in time to throw out a less than quick Giovanni Soto. 2 gone.
Yep, if you're going to bobble one, that's the time to do it.
Oh, 2 out. Soto back to the bench, and it will be up to Nick Punto. No sense of hurrying that up very much for Elvis Andrus. He knew who was running. Nick Punto steps in. He is the right-handed hitting portion of the platoon. He and Eric Sogard switch off at second base. Sogard, a left-handed hitter, and even though Punto is a switch hitter by trade, he's better off hitting against left-handed pitching. He's 3 for 6 in his career against Derek Holland. But Punto's got a pretty good 0 for going against the Rangers. He hasn't had a hit against them since the dawn of man, I don't think.
Not this year, for sure.
No, he's 0 for 25 this year. 0 for 21, I'm sorry, 0 for 21 this year, and 0 for 25 dating back to May 30th of 2010. Pitch inside to him. It's 2-1. Punto, of course, you remember, was with the Minnesota Twins the first part of his career. That 0 for on the heels of a .331 career average for Punto when he started out against the Rangers. But that kind of turn. Baseball will do that to you. 2-2, the count to him here. Rangers in the outfield play Punto way around to the right. Infield just about straight away. And again, Punto in the air, but that will slice out of play down the right side over the Ranger bullpen. Leonis Martin way over in right center field. That's as far over as you'll see a center fielder play. Jake Smolinski way off the line and left. He's a good 115 feet off the line and left. Another 2-2. Off the end of the bat, back to Holland. He bobbles it, gets by him, And no chance for Rougned Odor to make a play.
That's one of those balls that hit right off the end of the bat, and it had that high spin on it. When Derek touched the ball with his glove, the ball just hit his glove and spun right out of his glove. A normal ball would not do that. It would hit your glove and go in your glove. That one hit the glove and just had something to spin against and spun right out of his glove.
It's like trying to pick up one of those old Super Balls. Remember those things that spin?
Yeah. You have to realize that when a ball is hit off the end of the bat, it's going to be spinning like that, and it's not going to react the way a normal ball does.
Well, that'll go down as an error. Charge to Derek Holland. Well, back to the top of the order now. Punto at first, and Coco Crisp, who started things for the A's by flying out to right field. Crisp at 254 with a season average. Couldn't stop his swing in time. He went around. No balls, 2 strikes. Coco Crisp, this year anyway, look at that attempted check swing. A 237 average as a right-handed hitter, and 262 as a left-handed hitter. Drive Punto back. Although Crisp, with more power as a right-handed hitter, 4 of his 9 home runs have come from the right side. He's had fewer than half the number of at-bats right-handed than he has left-handed. Breakdown. Derek Holland with that off-speed breaking ball. He gets the strikeout. So Holland strikes out 2 in the inning. The error goes for no damage. 1 left for the A's. We played 3. We're still scoreless in Oakland. Clemente Day being celebrated around Major League Baseball, and in honor of the late, great Pittsburgh Pirates star, Adrian Beltre, this year's Ranger nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. It will be one winner voted on by all of you. Financially supported the RBI program and the I Love Baseball program in the Dominican Republic. Adrian Beltre supporting those. And boy, Adrian Beltre really felt honored to be the nominee from the Ranger Ball Club for the Roberto Clemente Award. He had great admiration for the memory of Roberto Clemente. Clemente, of course, you remember, died tragically in an air crash back at the end of the '72 season on his way to Central America, to Nicaragua, I believe it was, to aid the victims of an earthquake down there right around Christmas time, and tragically he was lost in a plane crash. So each team will have one member selected to be their nominee, and then the winner will be selected from those 30 finalists a little bit later on in the offseason. Rougned Odor rounding out to start things off. And there is Roberto Clemente. What a great man he was. Had the honor of pitching against him in a spring training game in 1972. And that was a thrill for me. That's something I'll never forget. And tragically lost to baseball, and what he exemplified, his spirit on the field and his contributions to humanity off the field. And really, that's what baseball recognizes in Clemente, in Roberto Clemente Award.
So he put a charge in that ball from Mickey Lolich in that clip we just saw in the All-Star game. Upper deck, right center field, Old Tiger Stadium. He wasn't that big a guy.
No.
He wasn't little by any means, but he was not 6'2", 210 pounds or anything like that.
You know, he reminded me a lot of how Ruben Sierra looked when he first came to the big
called
leagues.
up. Yeah. I wish Ruben kept that look instead of put all the weight on. He's still a fine ball player, but he was really something those few years, like a greyhound.
Clemente, 15 All-Star, 15 Gold Gloves, and 12 All-Star selections. And he was the best right fielder in baseball for better than a dozen years. 1-2. Beltre chops it foul. And Adrian, you couldn't find a better representative for the Rangers. And really, I think he would be a fine selection if he gets the number of votes necessary. He really has the feeling of wanting to give back to the community and back in his home. That's a tremendous man, and he certainly exemplifies the traits that we honor in Roberto Clemente Day. Beltre, a ground ball to second, his first time up. Down on the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scoreless ball game, 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. We'll try it again. You know, we talk about Adrian Beltre using the whole field, and I can remember coming up and guys talking about Clemente in the same way. He said he hit the ball 420 feet to right field when he had it going, or he'd pull it out of the ballpark. Same kind of hitter. If he saw the ball well, he'd put a good swing on it. Adrian does the same thing. Jack in the Box pitch tracker showing you the first 7 pitches. The 8th coming up to Beltre. Smarja back to him. And a ground ball to short. Charged by Lowry. 2 gone. So another ground ball out. And with the bases empty, J.P. Arancibia will come up.
We talked about all the well-pitched games that Smarja has this year with nothing to show for it. 4 games without giving up a run and no wins in those games. 9 times out of 20, 1 run or less, and only 2 wins in those games. And, you know, Derek has pitched in 3 ball games, given up 1 run twice and none in another game, and only has 1 win to show for it. And now they're pitching against each other tonight. Probably going to do the same thing to each other tonight.
Pretty much. Putting up a lot of zeros. Arancibia called out on strikes, his first time up, and time called at the last second. So home plate umpire Kerwin Danley jumping out there to make sure everybody said, wait a minute. Now the 0-1. JP at 171 for the year. Did not play in last night's ball game. Brings in a modest 3-game hitting streak. 1-2 now. I mentioned JP's playing time kind of cut down. This is only his 7th start in the last 17 ball games. He's had a lot of starts at DH of those 7. Got him swinging. Elevated the fastball. Smarja gets his 6th strikeout of the night. The Rangers gone in order. We finished 3.5 at O.Go Coliseum. Rangers nothing, A's nothing. Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Young Ranger fans taking in this ball game here tonight, a scoreless game, great pitcher's duel between Derek Holland and Jeff Samardzija. Now Derek Holland back out to start the 4th inning. He'll face Sam Fuld, Josh Donaldson, and Johnny Gomes. Fuld wailing at that first pitch, fouled it straight back. It is 0-1. Fuld had grounded out to second base, his first time up there. A's with just 1 hit. That was a 1-out single in the second by Derek Norris. High and tight, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Fuld came over in a trade with Minnesota. He's hit .220 since he's joined the A's. He's a guy that's actually hit very much better as a 9th place hitter. He's hit over 300 batting 9th. A's need him at the top of the order right now, but he's been struggling a little bit. Craig Gentry has been struggling with injuries all season long, and they needed another guy like Fuld was that guy.
Slow chopper near the bag at first. Rosales there, and he gets it to the bag before Fuld gets there. That is out number 1. Well, folks, this October, history will be made as baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network. Fox Sports 1 is your new home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series. And it all begins this October. One away in the A's 4th. Josh Donaldson, a fly ball to center, his first time up. Donaldson now in his career 6 for 15 against Holland. Fouls that first pitch back, 0-1. Donaldson 2 for 4 night last evening. 255 overall. Average is down this year in comparison to last, but home runs, RBIs, both of those are new career highs for Donaldson.
A little bit of a power outage for Donaldson. He's only hit a couple of home runs in his last 30 games.
Hits it well to center. Retreating, Leonis Martin makes the catch about 10 feet shy of the warning track for out number 2.
And Derek continuing to pound the strike zone. 2 outs into the 4th inning. Still has a very low pitch count.
40 pitches. You get 11 outs. That's
pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, if you're an A's hitter, you know he's going to be throwing strikes. All you have to do is look at the stats. And if I'm a right-hand hitter, I also know if I get 2 strikes on me, I've got to contend with that slider down and in. So I'm going to be hitting early in the count if I have a chance to try to get a fastball. Doesn't mean you're going to have great success, but probably more success than if you take a pitch and get behind.
Sure.
Because taking a pitch and working the count is great against some pitchers. I don't know how much good it does you right now, the way Derek is pumping strikes in there.
Gomes takes that breaking ball that's down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, and I think for the most part, the A's hitters have done just what you suggested.
Yeah.
They're looking for the first good pitch they can handle and having a whack at it. 2-1 now. And that's great as from a pitcher standpoint. If you can get the other team to start doing that, then that all works in your favor. You need to make sure you don't throw a get-ahead fastball right down the middle of the plate. Gomes hitting out of that very wide open stance. The 2-1 pitch from Holland. Now 3-1. The first 3-ball count tonight for Derek Holland. Johnny Gomes trying to get aboard to extend this 4th inning. He'll be followed by Derek Norris, the DH. Holland to the wind, the 3-1 to Gomes. Lost him, ball 4, and there goes Derek Holland's streak at 24 2/3 innings without a walk, and that comes to an end. So the left-hander now will have to start a new streak.
That may be a case what we were talking about the other night, Buzz. If you've got a 5-0 lead right now, maybe you don't pitch quite as carefully to Gomes, but Gomes has some power, and in this kind of a ball game, the way Smarge is pitching, if you're Derek Holland, even though there's 2 outs and nobody on, you still have to be careful, because who knows, that one swing of the bat might be all the runs that are scored tonight.
Well, you're right. In the middle of this order, that's where you have to be careful of that. And you know, with Donaldson, Gomes, and Norris, those are the 3 guys that can make it a 1-0 or 2-0 game very quickly on it. So you have to be careful. Norris laced a single to left field, his first time to the plate. He has the only A's hit. Robinson Chirinos out to have a word with Derek Holland. Norris been struggling for the last 6 weeks at the plate. Hitting just .209 since the first week in August. That kind of parallels the struggles that the A's as a team have had. I think you'll find most of the hitters have been struggling in the same time. Pitch is low. It's 2-0 now. Norris was a .303 hitter at the end of play on August the 2nd. In the last 38 games, he has hit .209. Still a menace as far as the Rangers are concerned, though. .314 career hitter against Texas pitching. And Holland missing very high. 3 balls, no strikes. Now, and this is a situation with Norris up there. You've got to be careful. Don't assume on 3-0 that he's taking.
No.
Norris, with the history he has against the Rangers and the power that he possesses, a good candidate to swing if he gets a 3-0 pitch to his liking.
Like that?
Like that. And he was just a little bit late on it. 3-1.
Yeah, really. If you're going to swing 3-0. He got a pitch to hit.
Yep.
Took a big swing at it, but didn't catch up with it. Shows you how hard it is to hit a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. You know it's coming. You expect it. You still don't do anything.
That's out of play down the right side. Another fastball that Derek almost got by him. So the count is full, and with 2 outs now, Gomes will be off and moving with the next Holland pitch. Norris, the 5th place hitter, And Jed Lowry, the shortstop, will follow. If Norris gets aboard, it'll be this inning. Holland about ready to throw his 51st pitch of the night. Says okay to Robinson Chirinos. Payoff pitch. Rolling inside, ball 4. So Holland, after not walking a hitter for almost 25 innings, has walked 2 in a row, and that'll bring a visit from Mike Mannix. Mike out there to inject a little bit of humor, kind of see if Derek's temperament is getting a little bit uptight. And Mike has a great way of managing that situation. A little slap on the chest and a grip on the left shoulder. See the pitch by inning count tonight. Just 8 in the second. Still very modest. 2 on, 2 out in the 4th inning. Lowry grounded into a double play his first time up. Gomes at second, Norris at first. The first Derek Holland pitch is a fastball right down the middle. .243 the season average for Jed Lowry, as opposed to last year when he was a .290 hitter. Good breaking ball. Holland bending it in over the outside corner. 0-2. Holland set, back to the plate. Call strike 3. Well, Lowry didn't even bother to swing the bat, and he is gone.
That was easy.
No, a couple of walks. They're both stranded. We'll go to the 5th inning here in Oakland. Rangers nothing, A's nothing. Is September 28th. Rangers take on these A's in a 2 o'clock game. It's also Fan Appreciation Day. And all fans attending that ball game will receive a voucher for 1 free upper reserve ticket to select 2015 home games. Visit TexasRangers.com to get tickets for September 28th. The Texas Rangers thank you for your support all season long. The Rangers and A's locked up in a scoreless battle here tonight. At the top of the 5th inning, it'll be Robinson Chirinos, Jake Smolinski, and Adam Rosales to start things off against Jeff Samardzija. 1 ball, no strike. Samardzija with his 66th pitch of the night. First offering to Robinson Chirinos. Chirinos skied out to pretty deep center field his first time up. Ball 2 is away. Rangers with 2 hits tonight off margin. They've both been doubles. First inning 2-bagger by Rougned Odor, and Adam Rosales gave the Rangers their best scoring opportunity when he led off the 3rd with a double. But then Samardzija had 3 strikeouts in a row to kind of put the damper on that idea.
There was a case where the Rangers know Samardzija throws a lot of strikes, and Robinson's guessing for a strike on a 2-0 pitch, and he threw him a sinker out of the strike zone. But he was so geared up to hit the fastball that he couldn't lay off it. You wouldn't expect Samardzija to throw 3 straight balls and then hang a breaking ball.
Yeah. The one pitch you probably can get that at bat to hit, and you can't do much with it.
You've got to kind of step out, take a deep breath, regroup, come back and concentrate.
The 2-2 coming to Chirinos. Full count. Samardzija turning his head. He didn't think Kerwin Danley did him any favors with that call. Well, from a pitcher standpoint, I can understand why you think that. Jack in the box showing you that pitch tracker, and that's what ran the count full. Payoff pitch on the way. Right field, long run over for Full. He is going to run out of room. That's about 3 rows deep away from him. But we'll try it again at 3-2. Rangers and A's battling in a scoreless game tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, we will see Nick Martinez and Sonny Gray in the wrap-up of this series at Odotco Coliseum. That's going to be a tough play if it stays fair. It's going to Samardzija. Not much he could do to that. And Robinson Chirinos aboard with a swinging bunt down the 3rd baseline. 3rd base hit of the night for the Rangers, and the first one that has not gone for a double.
Yeah, Samardzija's a big guy, but obviously he's an excellent athlete. He was a terrific wide receiver at Notre Dame. Also a pitcher on the baseball team who chose the opportunity to pitch in the big leagues over the opportunity to catch passes on Sundays in the NFL. He was a 5th round draft choice, but he didn't get a 5th round salary. He got a huge contract. The Cubs drafted him and bought him out of any desire to play in the NFL. I think it was like $10 or $12 million back then. It might even have been a major league contract. And it took him a while to get to where he is right now. He pitched in relief for quite a while. He's only been starting the last few years. Obviously, when he first started, he didn't have this kind of command.
Double play ground ball. Taylor made once Lowry came up with it. 6-4-3, and that removes Robinson Chirinos after his leadoff single. No, Jake Smolinski grounding into the double play, and that makes the bases empty and 2 away for Adam Rosales. Well, both ball clubs tonight have turned a double play.
Yeah, well hit ball. Jake waited on the slider and hit it well. Unfortunately, right to Lowry.
No, Adam Rosales steps up there. Rosales had the leadoff double in the 3rd inning. He got no further than second base, and he takes ball 1. This is Adams' 17th start in the last 23 ball games. He has done a very, very good job. And remember, he was the Rangers Player of the Month for August. He had 350, better than 350. Didn't want to and had to anyway. 1-1.
That almost looked like the quickest swing in the West.
Yeah, almost. You're right.
You gotta get a good fastball to hit right there. Adam can put a charge in it too.
Yes, he can.
We've seen that a couple of times in Chicago against Chris Sale. You just have a feeling that's the kind of game this is. Someone's going to hit one out of the ballpark, and that might be all there is, right down the middle.
Our Chevy pitch tracker is showing you that number 3 right there in the middle was screaming, "Hit me," when it left the hand of Jeff Smartgen. Just missed outside Smartgen.
That's every bit of what he's got right there. 97 miles an hour. He can't throw a ball any harder than that. Watch his follow through. Thought he had strike 3. Go back there, big guy. Could have been a strike.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Left that one high. The count has gone full. No, Adam Rosales trying to extend this 5th inning. If he gets aboard, Daniel Robertson would have a shot here in the top of the 5th. Rosales back in. Giovanni Soto flashing the signs. Payoff pitch from Smartgen. Chopped over the mound. Going to be a tough play for Punto. Off balance, not in time. Adam Rosales with an infield single. Well, he is aboard with 2 outs, and Rosales tonight 2 for 2 with that single and a double.
Pretty nice play by Punto. He just had to come too far and throw from a funny angle. Couldn't get anything on his throw. Sinking fastball, that's all he could do with it. Punto does whatever he can to make that play, just wasn't able to do it.
So 4 hits now for the Rangers, and Adam Rosales at first has half them. Daniel Robertson going after that first pitch, fouls it off. Robertson up there with Rosales at second in the 3rd inning, and he went down swinging. He was trying to get Rosales over to 3rd at least, and tried to bunt, tried to hit the ball to the right side. Nothing worked, and he got caught with a great sinking fastball down and in. He couldn't do anything with. Smartgen's 0-1 pitch. There goes Rosales, and the pitch is topped down the 3rd baseline, and that's going to be in foul territory.
Oh, the infield hit rally right here.
I think Jeff Smartgen is reverting to his football mentality. He's all pumped up out there, jumping around, and he bounced off the mound after those 2 little dribblers. Not as quick as you're going to see any pitcher bounce off the mound. Folks, Southwest Airlines is celebrating the arrival of 15 new nonstop destinations out of Dallas Love Field. Go to southwest.com/RangersLove to enter to win round-trip tickets. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Rosales the lead from first, and Smartgen will drive him back with the throw. Nate Fryman holding Rosales at first. We'll try it again at 0-2 as Daniel Robertson able to fight off that sinker in on his fist. Daniel last night 1 for 3, had an RBI, also had a walk in that ball game. There's the inning by inning pitch count breakdown for you for Smartgen. 82 pitches as he works with 1 on and 2 out here in the 5th inning. Big right-hander sets at the belt, and again will toss first base way. Daniel now in the last week or so of play has fallen into a little bit of a hard time. Just 4 for his last 28. That's a 143 average. There goes Rosales. The pitch is low. The throw is high. And Rosales in with a stolen base. Able to keep that fingernail on the bag. Giovanni Soto came up firing, but couldn't get Rosales, who had a pretty big jump. 4th stolen base of the year for Rosales.
Yeah, pretty good lead, pretty good jump. Throws a little high. He's able to slide underneath it, keep his hand on the bag. Now a little blooper can bring him in.
1-2 pitch. Up the middle, off the mound, Punto. Off balance throw in time to get Robertson. Nice play by the A's second baseman. Rangers get a couple of hits and a stolen base in the inning, but they leave a runner stranded. We played half the ball game. Still no score in Oakland. Visit Arlington, Globe Life Park for the final 4 games of the season. And on Friday, September the 26th, it's your last chance to catch a post-game fireworks show. That'll be right after the ball game, 7:05 game, and the fireworks show is compliments of our friends at Big Green Egg. $15 tickets in the upper reserve sections are available at TexasRangers.com/specials by using the coupon code fireworks. Eric Holland missing just a bit low to Nate Fryman, leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 balls, no strikes. Fryman, Soto, and Punto. Nate Fryman a strikeout first time that he faced Holland tonight. And he hits a towering pop fly into shallow center. Leonis Martin ambling in, makes the grab. That is out number 1. Derek Holland has kept Leonis Martin pretty busy in center field. That's his 3rd put out for his center fielder. Giovanni Soto will be next. Soto, a ground ball to short back in the 3rd inning. Giovanni, as a member of the A's, has hit just 158. He's provided an awful lot of help to them behind the plate. We mentioned all the injury problems that A's catchers had. Giovanni filling a void created by those injuries.
Yeah, they just needed a veteran, dependable big league catcher just to have some depth.
And Derek Norris, there, well, if you will, everyday catcher, but he's not used to that. That's not a position he's been in. Soto taking some of the pressure off him, and he's ahead of the count here. 2 balls and a strike. Holland back to the plate. 2-2. Even Giovanni has had some injury problems. Had a bout of the back spasms. He had to come out of a ball game last Friday night in Seattle, but he was okay after a couple of days off. That pitch is high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So with 1 out, Soto trying to get aboard. Nick Punto, the second baseman for the A's, waits to be next. Bottom of the 5th inning. 4 hits for the Rangers. 1 hit for Oakland against Derek Holland. No score. And the payoff pitch to Soto. left center field on the run. Leonis Martin, he can't get there. It's one hop and off the wall. Into second with a two-bagger is Giovanni Soto. Ranger fans will remember Giovanni Soto tomahawking a high pitch like that several times in a Ranger uniform.
Off the bat, it didn't look like it was going to carry, and maybe Martin could run it down. But he got it right in between the outfielders all the way to the wall.
Well, one on at second base now, one out. Nick Punto, who reached on an error by Derek Holland his first time. Fouls back that first pitch. They got a pretty good piece of Kerwin Danley, the home plate umpire. Robinson Torino's asking Danley if he's okay, and immediately the A's trainer comes out there to check him. That's kind of standard procedure now. Any kind of a foul ball that gets you in the mask, whether it be the catcher or the umpire. Trainer's coming out to evaluate immediately.
Well, he's talking.
The question is he making any sense?
He's got kind of a glazed look on his face, though. I hope he's all right. Boy, that's a square shot right there.
Now, we mentioned the A's catcher's problem. John Jaso out for the rest of the year, apparently, with a concussion from a shot just like that. And if I remember right, this is 3 years in a row now that Jaso has had a concussion problem after a foul tip.
Wow.
And just hitting him in the wrong play. I mean, hitting him the wrong way. It's just bad fortune, I guess, what you have to call it. And Kerwin Danley talking his way back behind home plate. Said, I'm all right. The rest of the umpires in just to make sure. They're kind of
checking his mask out. See if had any damage done to it. Well, you love to see an umpire come back go into the future. An umpire from back in the 40s and the 50s used those big chest protectors they used to use. And see the guys now with no chest protector and those fancy helmets they've got. They wouldn't know what sport they were watching.
And Punto not down to the count. No balls and 2 strikes. No, it didn't look like an alien back there.
First time those guys that used those big chest protectors went back there with their chest protection underneath their shirt. They must have felt like they were naked back there without having that big protector.
I'm trying to remember when that was in the National. The National League did it first.
Yeah.
They did it a long time before the American League.
I remember that.
And you get them in spring training, you get National League umpires, and it would look weird pitching to a National League umpire if you were used to the American League umpires.
Yeah.
Back there with the, it looked like the umpire was back there naked without that big balloon in front of him.
Well, the A's, obviously, we talk about it all the time, are a patient team. They don't swing at as many pitches out of the strike zone as other teams do. And so that same slider that gets a lot of strikeouts won't get quite as many against the A's because they have more hitters that'll lay off it. Lay off that one.
Another little cue shot. And it's going to be a race, and nobody's going to cover the bag. Well, Derek Holland made the first mistake of slowing down. He was going to try and go for the ball, and he decided too late. Well, you do that in spring training, and you have to not slow down. If you can't get to the ball as a pitcher, you go to the bag and set up as a first baseman, and you let the first baseman take it. Rosales played it right. Derek Holland, and that's a tough play. That's difficult when you're not doing it all the time. And Derek just made the little hesitation as if he was going to try and get the ball a second time. Slow down right there. That was it. That's all it took.
That's the second ball Punto's hit pretty much the exact same way. He got on an error in the third inning.
Yep.
When he hit the ball that glanced off Derek's glove with a lot of spin on it. 2 at bats, the same result. Little balls off speed pitches hit right off the end of the bat.
Here's Coco Crisp. The first pitch is low and in for ball 1. Giovanni Soto at third. Nick Punto at first. Coco Crisp tonight has flied out to right and struck out. First time this evening that the A's have had a runner as far as third base. Rangers have not had one there this evening. Check swing, and it's a strike on the outer edge. One out, and you can see Coco Crisp has been pretty good in these situations, scoring that runner 2/3 of the time from third with less than 2 outs. Highland to the plate. And a sharply hit ground ball pulled foul outside third. 1-2. Of course, Derek Holland ideally would love to have a double play, but Coco Crisp, hard to double him up. Crisp has grounded into one this year.
Yeah, only one double play. And
417 at bats.
Doesn't strike out a whole lot. Derek got him on an off-speed pitch in the third inning, but Crisp is one of those rare hitters that almost walks as much as he strikes out. He walks quite a bit. 59 walks, 62 strikeouts.
Holland a high set. He will go first base way, and Punto had a little difficulty reading that. That was Derek's good move. Had Punto had a bigger lead, he would have been out. He didn't read that very quickly. Ty Waller, the first base coach, reminding Punto now that he almost got picked off, that Holland's got a good move. 1-2 the count as Holland sets. 2-2. Derek in his first real tough spot. 1 out, 2 on. Scoreless ball game. The other time that he had 2 runners aboard at the same time was the 4th inning after back-to-back walks, but that was with 2 outs. Eric reading the signs, has the one he wants. Out of play off the bat of Crisp. Derek Holland against Oakland, 5-4, but he has a fine ERA of 3.40, and this is his 13th start, 17th appearance overall. He's gone 3-2 in 8 career starts here in Oakland. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball down and in.
He laid off it early in the count, but he got 2 strikes, and Derek kept coming with it. That's his strikeout pitch, and he needed a strikeout right there. And he came with that pitch, and Crisp was unable to lay off it. Big strikeout for Derek right there.
Now, there aren't many right-hand hitters that are going to put that ball in play.
And fortunately for pitchers like Derek, most right-handed hitters are going to swing at that pitch too.
That's right. So a big punch out. That is out number 2. And Sam Fuld now at the plate has grounded out twice tonight. First pitch from Holland is a belt-high fastball for strike 1. Fuld, a ground ball to second, a ground ball to first. Got Giovanni Soto at third, Nick Punto over at first with 2 outs. Holland a check at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield for the left-handed hitting Fuld, as you look at our Chevy pitch tracker showing you that last pitch pretty close. The outfield way around to the left. Fuld showing bunt, and that brought Adrian Beltre in. 2-1. I don't think a bunt right now would get the job done. Two balls and a strike. Holland to the plate. Instead of going to first base. Derek reading the signs. Robinson Chirinos flashing out a series of them. Now the left-hander's ready. Another throw to first. Punto, for having about a 4-foot lead.
He's struggling to get back. He has to take that one step and a dive.
Looks like every time Derek throws over there, it scares him. Scrambling back. 2-1. That will even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This is definitely the guy, obviously, that you want to get. Left-hand hitter, struggling at the plate. And then their big RBI guy coming up next, a guy who has pounded left-handed pitching pretty well.
Josh Donaldson in the on-deck circle. Holland is ready. Pulled through the hole, a base hit. In to score is Soto. Around to third goes Punto. And Sam Fuld just reaching out and hooking a little ground ball between Rosales and Odor, and the A's have a 1-0 lead.
He got a ball that he could do that with, too. It was a slider that stayed up. He was trying to get that a little bit more outside and a little bit down. But it stayed up for him. Outside part of the plate, it looked like. He was just able to reach out and yank it to right field. He grounded out his first 2 times up, once to second, once to first, and there wasn't much difference between all 3 balls. It's just that this one found a hole.
Yep. Yeah, and if the first baseman doesn't have to hold a runner on, that's an easy out for him.
Yeah.
But he had to, and it wasn't. So 1-0 Oakland. And here's Josh Donaldson now, who has twice flied to center field. Takes strike 1. Donaldson a .254 average as he faces Holland here in the 5th inning. Hits are now even at 4. The A's have put 3 of them together in this inning for their run. Pitch down and in.
There's that slider.
Yep. He made contact. It would have been off his left foot. Doing his best Adrian Beltre imitation. Unfortunately, the results were not Adrian Beltre-like. Runners in scoring position. Donaldson having a very good year at .314. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nick Punto over to third base. Around at first. Sam Fuld after the RBI single that has broken this scoreless deadlock. Holland trying to keep it at a 1-0 advantage for the A's. Holland again reading the signs, and he is ready to go. A check of first. That breaking ball again, and that time it was up enough that Donaldson probably saw it a little better. 2-2. Our Chevy pitch tracker again showing that all of them in. Derek trying to bury that breaking ball where that number 2 is right there, is where he's trying to throw that breaking ball to Donaldson. Popped up. Foul territory. Over to take a look, Rosales and Chirinos, but it's back over the Ranger dugout. And we'll try it again at 2-2. A lot of foul territory. We always talk about that here at Odacco Coliseum, and just not quite enough this time. Donaldson's having a hard time staying on his feet. 95 feet from the widest point to the foul line. Where those seats are that jut out there. The Oakland edition of the commissioner's box. And the cue shot foul off the end of the bat. Still 2-2. Derek Holland, a long pitch inning. 84 pitches now under his belt. Trying to dispose of Josh Donaldson in the A's. And he popped him up. Leonis Martin waiting for it to come down out of the night sky, puts it away, and that'll do it. But the A's take the lead. They get a run on 3 hits and strand 2. And after 5, it's Oakland 1, Texas nothing. Sonic Slam Inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $900 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Larry Merrifield from Athens, Texas. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Larry Merrifield from Athens, Texas will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Well, during the half inning, while we were away, Kerwin Danley feeling poorly, and he went over and talked to the A's trainer, and they helped him off the field. Kerwin visibly wobbly.
You know, Buzz, even when he was talking to the trainer and smiling, he still had kind of a glazed look on his face.
Yeah.
He didn't look alert. Well, that's good that they're getting him back into the clubhouse and checking on him.
And Mark Rippinger, who is the second base umpire, will put the gear on and call balls and strikes. So crew chief Gary Cederstrom there, the glasses, the first base umpire tonight, and will be behind the plate tomorrow afternoon. And Kerwin Danley helped off the field, and he will go back and be further evaluated in the umpire's locker room, and we'll let you know if we hear what we hear about Kerwin Danley. And while we have a minute here, we'd like to send you back for a Mazda game break with Dana Larson. Dana? All right, Dana, thank you. Yeah, that cuts that lead to 1/2 game for the Tigers over Kansas City. And that makes them even in the loss column. So that is going to go right down to the wire. It also makes it a half game differential in the wild card at the moment. And Seattle trailing both Kansas City and Oakland in that wild card. Down the coast in Anaheim, it's a scoreless ball game. Mariners and the Angels there in the 7th inning. And while we still are waiting for Mark Rippinger to come on back out, let's sit down and check in with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, fellas, the Rangers riding their longest win streak of the season coming into this game. 4 games, looking to extend it to 5 here tonight. And Elvis Andrus says it all starts on the mound.
We have a winning streak going on right now, and you can see, a bunch, especially the young guys, are kind of feeling a lot comfortable, and you can see the results in the field. So I think the biggest key has been the pitch. The pitchers are doing a terrific job the last couple of weeks, and hopefully, that's what we want. Finish the year strong, and then, looking forward next year.
Tone over the last week or so, but the offense has been holding up its end of the bargain as well, and as we saw last night, making things happen on the base paths never hurts anything either, guys.
Well, thanks, Em. Yeah, to add a few numbers to that, what Elvis was talking about, the Rangers in the last 36 innings coming into play tonight, that covered their 4-game winning streak, and allowed a total of 9 runs. That's a ERA of 2 1/4, and of course the offense at that time averaging about 5 runs per game. So that'll win you a few ball games, and that's why the Rangers, with 4 consecutive wins, looking for a 5th here tonight, but they trail 1-0. And it's been a combination of the starters getting the job done, getting deeper into ball games. And also the bullpen has become a lockdown feature late in the ballgame. Last night, 3 shutout innings for the bullpen, closing out that win over the Athletics last night. Adrian Beltre and company trying to run that winning streak to 5 straight games. We are waiting for Mark Rippinger to get the gear on so he can move back behind home plate as the umpire and get this ball game continued. Now, the A's leading 1-0. They scored their run in the bottom of the 5th inning. Had 3 hits, 3 of their 4 hits in that inning, and to score their only run. It's going to be a couple more minutes while we have some time. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back to O'Dotco Coliseum, hopefully with an home plate umpire. We'll take a timeout. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Event, social function, or special occasion at Globe Life Park. Our flexible event spaces can accommodate your group from 20 up to 20,000. Check out the new website at rangersevents.com to learn more. Folks sampling the cuisine. I thought that's what Mark Rippinger was doing up there, but apparently he was just getting changed into his home plate gear. So he is coming back out, and we will be back underway here momentarily. Again, Kerwin Danley, in case you are just tuning in, hit by a foul tip in the middle of the mask last half inning, and stayed in the ball game to finish that half inning, but really was wobbly and was assisted off the field between innings, going back into the umpire's dressing room to be evaluated. So we'll go with 3 umpires. We'll have umpires at first and third, and then, of course, Mark Rippinger behind the plate. Rangers getting set to open up the top of the 6th inning. They now play from behind by 1. Leonis Martin will lead things off once we get things back underway. Leonis tonight 0 for 2. He has grounded out and struck out.
The umpire is going to take a couple of pitches to kind of get in the swing of things. He's been out at second base without much going on, and now he's right back in the middle of it. So he's going to watch a few pitches from Jeff Smarja. Kind of like taking a little batting practice. He's ready to go now.
Yeah, he had nice and quiet out there. Nobody yelling at him. Now he's got everybody yelling from both benches at him.
Yep. Well, we hope Kerwin Danley's okay. That's the main thing.
Yep. And we will pass along any information we get to you about Kerwin. So here we go. Leonis Martin will step in. The top of the order, Martin, Andrus, and Odor to face Jeff Smarja. First pitch in the 6th inning is on the outside corner for strike 1. And I guess this would have to be, Tom, an adjustment period for the hitters, too, about where the strike zone is for Mark Rippinger compared to Kerwin Danley.
Yeah.
Chopper just foul outside first. And almost snuck over the bag. Nothing in 2, though, to Leonis. Smarja tonight with 6 strikeouts. He's given up the 4 hits to the Rangers, but no runs so far. 1 and 2. Giovanni Soto catching tonight. And Smarja rocks to the line. Fouled straight back and out of play. Like a changeup that hung up there. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Now the next pitch. Got him swinging. Elevated fastball, and Leonis strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. That's 7 for Smarja. 1 gone for Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, he's throwing an excellent game. He's pounding the strike zone. A lot of fastballs. Moving it around. And when he put right at the top of the strike zone on the inside part of the plate, it looked like. Tied him up. 89 pitches, though, for Smarja.
Yep. Elvis, ground ball to 3rd and a strikeout this evening. One ball, no strikes. Smarja, the big right-hander, rocks and deals the 1-0 pitch. In the air down the right field line, full near the bullpen, has room up against the sidewall and makes the catch. Full had that measured pretty well, and just for safekeeping, he jumped against the wall.
Yeah, that's one where you catch it about 5 feet from the wall and just keep running and jump into the wall. Fans think you made a catch up against the wall.
Trying to get into the V1 competition for tonight. That's not going to make it, Sam. Sorry about that.
I guess that's just a way of slowing down rather than take a couple of quick steps and bang into the bottom of the wall. Just jump into the soft part of it, bounce right back.
Here's Rougned Odor, who's 1 for 2. Odor's double came back in the 1st inning. Last time up, grounded out to 1st. .258 the season average for Odor. That's a pretty good splitter from Smarja. No balls and 2 strikes. Hard hit. Picked off by Primey. He'll take it to the bag. And that will do it. Oh, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Smarja and the A's. Rangers gone after 5.5. 1-0 Oakland. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event, now playing at a Ford dealer near you. Derek Holland and the Rangers trailing 1-0 as the A's come to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be the middle third of the order. Gomes, Norris, and Lowry to face Derek Holland. Johnny Gomes 0 for 1 officially. He's walked and fouled out. Holland with his 86th pitch of the evening is inside for ball 1.
Well, Derek got 2 quick outs in the 4th and then walked a couple of batters and had a fairly long inning in the 5th. He's had to throw a few more pitches in the 4th and 5th innings.
That'll help. A 1-hopper right at Elvis. And Gomes is retired. Next will be Derek Norris. They could use a quick inning here. Help him out.
Yeah, we were talking about the A's swinging early in the count because Derek was throwing a lot of strikes. They haven't been swinging as early in the count. Derek hasn't gotten ahead of the hitters with strikes the last couple of innings. Not like he was early in the game. Still, he's only given up 4 hits and 1 run.
Yep.
And that 1 run came on a ground ball that just found a hole. Punto had a base hit, a little infield hit on a squibbler that hit right off the end of the bat and went for a little infield hit.
There's strike 1 to Derek Norris. Norris, a base hit and a walk tonight. He is 1 for 1 officially. Season average at .270. Holland, a long hook in, too long for Derek Norris, so he backs out. Robinson Chirinos flashing the signs out. Now the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Holland dropping that changeup in. Derek 57 strikes, 32 balls on the 89 pitches that he has offered up there tonight. One and 2. We were talking about the trades that the A's had made, and Norris, one of those guys that was affected by the lack of having Cespedes in the middle of the order. He's had to move up. He pulls that pitch well foul. Having to hit fifth now, and certainly guys hitting a little bit differently in the order. And Josh Donaldson, one of them, and Johnny Gomes in there tonight. But Moss and Reddick were affected by that. And Tom, you'd mentioned the numbers that the A's had quoted with Cespedes in the lineup and without him. This year, and this year alone, the A's were 63-35 with Cespedes in the lineup prior to the trade. After the trade, they've gone 17-25.
Yeah, it's hard to prove anything, but the evidence definitely suggests that Cespedes meant a lot in their lineup. Maybe more than just what the stats would show. John Lester, you certainly can't argue acquiring John Lester.
No, not at all.
And the pitching has been great, but the offense hasn't. And Cespedes must have something to do with that.
Yeah, I guess the question is raised too with the other trade that they made for Samardzija and Hamels, and you gave up your top two prospects. You kind of leveraged the future, and you also leverage your present by acquiring the three pitchers. The broken bat roller down to Beltre, and ball gets there well before the bat did. And Beltre able to fire on to first. Norris retired, two gone.
Yeah, they're, as we were mentioning the other night, Buzz, they're all in this year. They've traded most of their top prospects. They've acquired some players that they're probably not going to be able to keep. They're going to probably hope to turn those players around somewhere down the road and get some prospects back. But in the meantime, it's all geared to winning right now. And the Angels have run away with the division. So now the A's are battling for the wild card. So even if they're successful in their hunt for the wild card, it still comes down to a one-game playoff.
Sure.
So all the extra money they've spent, the trades that mortgage the future, the guys they've acquired that they won't be able to keep, for them it's going to come down to a one-game playoff. And I don't care who you've got or what the circumstances are, anything can happen in one game.
Yeah.
And that would be a shame if you're an A's fan to see that happen. What looked like a sure division championship, if you can say that a month and a half ago. Now it's boiled down to maybe a one-game playoff to see if you get into a playoff series.
Yeah, and it's been a two-year run. Just about 2 years ago at this time, when the Rangers were falling on hard times, the A's overtook them and won the division on the last weekend of the season. And then last year, of course, the A's did about the same thing, but really won it going away. So it's been a pretty good two-year run, but yeah, now you're looking at maybe all of that coming to fruition in a one-game playoff, and that's pretty tough to handle.
And this year it's all geared toward going to the World Series. I think anything short of that, even if they win a wild card game and get into the playoffs, if they don't go to the World Series, I don't think they're going to feel like they had the season they wanted to have.
Wouldn't you say the upgrade in the pitching, the acquisition of the pitching, was all geared toward the playoff roster?
Yeah, I think that's the exact reason for it. They had several young pitchers in their rotation, and they were probably a little bit worried about approaching between 160 and 200 innings, and if they might wear down a little bit. Then they got the three veteran pitchers who you don't have to worry about that with.
A little scramble by Robinson Chirinos to find that ball, but he finds in time to throw out Lowry. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Derek Holland and the Rangers. Now we finished 6 here in Oakland. It's the A's 1, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. been a great pitcher's duel. Holland and Samardzija have been going at it. Derek, 2 walks to snap his walkless streak at 24 2/3, 5 strikeouts, 99 pitches. Samardzija has shut out the Rangers on 4 hits through 6 innings with 7 strikeouts and 94 pitches. And the right-hander going to work here in the 7th inning. Adrian Beltre, a big swing and a miss. It is 0-1. Middle third of the Ranger order. Adrian Beltre 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of groundouts. Samardzija with the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Well, you mentioned the Rangers had not faced Jeff Samardzija in a regular season game. Alex Rios, the only member of the Rangers that had done so. That was when Alex was a member of the White Sox, facing Jeff Samardzija. Got him swinging. Nasty pitch from Jeff Samardzija, who racks up his 8th strikeout of the night.
Well, look at the movement on that thing. It looked like one of Derek Holland's sliders down and into the right-hand hitters.
I think that classifies as a power sinker.
I guess so.
Or turbo sinker, whichever way you want to go with it. Well, one gone here is JP Arancibia now, and JP has had no luck at all tonight against Samardzija. He struck out both times.
They're talking about acquiring Samardzija and Hamill and John Lester, and the fact that they might not be able to keep them for very long. Some of them could be free agents eventually. But one thing they will have is they'll have a couple of young pitchers coming back eventually. A.J. Griffin and Jared Parker, 2 mainstays of their rotation the last couple of years. Griffin was 14-10 last year. Parker 25-16 over the last couple of years. Both of those guys have been on the disabled list all season long. So they're going to, hopefully, if you're an A's fan, you'll get those 2 guys back at some point in time.
0-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul. Yeah, both of them having surgery this year, early in the year, so it would probably not be until into the 2015 season they'd be available. But you're right, and on the bright side of things, they will be getting those guys back.
Yeah, the one thing that happens if they missed all of this year, and if they come back next year and it takes them a while to regain their form to where they're not really ready to be 100% till 2016, you've had 2 years of service time, and they're that much closer to free agency when they do come back.
Yeah. One-two pitch, and that is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Arancibia.
Occasionally, Samardzija lets it all go and tries to throw it as hard as he can, and kind of recoils. His right leg goes up in the air. Those are the ones he's throwing 96 or 97 miles an hour.
Back to the plate, the right-hander. It's a foul ball off to the right. Well, Samardzija, Tom was telling you about his football exploits. Of course, a All-American wide receiver with the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. There's that last pitch right down the middle, and JP not able to do much with it. Another 2-2. Got him swinging. 9 strikeouts for Samardzija. He's gotten JP Arancibia 3 times. Two gone for Robinson Chirinos.
Another one of those sinkers. Look at that thing drop. 93 or 4 miles an hour. Samardzija's had a couple of times where he struck out 10 batters in a game this year. That's his high.
A's fans keeping track of that out there on the railing. And the first pitch to Robinson Chirinos is a bit outside for ball 1. Chirinos had an infield single, a little swinging bunt back in the 5th inning. 1 out of 2 tonight, a .243 average. Well, the Ranger catcher. He's now increased his hitting streak to 4 consecutive games. To right field, Sam Full waiting for it to come down, and that will do it. Samardzija, another 1, 2, 3 innings, now retired 7 straight. Stretch time at O.Go Coliseum. A's 1, Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. AT&T U-verse Rewind takes you back to the only run of the ball game, happened in the 5th inning. A 2-out bouncer through the right side by Sam Fuld, and that played at Giovanni Soto, and that's the only run for either team tonight. A run on 4 hits for Oakland, no runs on 4 hits for the Rangers, and it has been a night dominated by the men on the mound. And Derek Holland back to the mound to start the bottom of the 7th inning and the bottom third of the Oakland order. Nate Fryman. Strike 1. Fryman 0 for 2, a fly out and a strikeout tonight. Holland with the 2 walks. They came back to back in the 4th inning and 5 strikeouts. He fires strike 2. Sean Tollison loosening in the Ranger pen. Holland now over the 100 pitch mark for tonight. Fryman not able to get the good part of the bat to that ball. Tim Bogar, Mike Maddox keeping a close eye on Derek Holland. Good night to pitch weather-wise. Very comfortable evening. 71 degrees at game time, probably in the upper 60s now. That is not a factor the way heat could be, or extreme cold. Holland in his 3 outings has had 2 of them over 100 pitches and 1 of them at 93. Looping drive to Adrian Beltre down at 3rd, and Fryman an out on the inside fastball. And with Giovanni Soto coming up, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Once again, here's Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. And the Angels on the verge of clinching the division title. And the Western standings will show you that the Angels' magic number is at 2. Any combination of Angel wins and Oakland losses, 4 Oakland losses, would give the Angels their first division title since 2009. Holland with the advantage in the count to Giovanni Soto. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Giovanni, we mentioned, scoring the only run of the game thus far. He doubled with 1 out in the 5th inning. And 1 out later would score on the ground ball through the right side by Sam Full. Out of play again. Giovanni with the average at 220. The home run, 5 driven in. Holland back to it. 2-2. And that's low and in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Soto, after falling behind, has worked the count full. Derek Holland trying to get Giovanni for the 2nd out. Nick Punto, the number 9 man, waits to be next.
And Derek got his pitch count up to 110 right now.
The payoff pitch. Pop foul. That will reach the seats. And you might suspect this would be his last hitter. He is now in territory that getting close to territory he hasn't reached. Michael Kirkman has joined Sean Tollison, loosening in that Ranger pen. Derek stopped this year 113 pitches. That was in his last outing against Atlanta.
The A's have a number of left-hand pinch hitters on the bench, that's for sure.
And that breaking ball is low. Soto draws the 1 out walk. That's the 2nd time he's been aboard tonight. Mike Maddox gets the word from the bullpen, giving counsel to Tim Bogard, see what they wanted to do with Derek Holland. And the decision has been made. He wants to get the right-hander Sean Tollison to come in, so that will keep that bench active for the A's. We'll see what Bob Melvin does with the expanded bench. Got guys moving all over the place. So Derek Holland finished after 6 1/3 innings tonight. A very good outing, but he leaves trailing 1-0. A man on first, his responsibility, and John Tollison making his way in. While the change is being made, we'll take a timeout. We're back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. And Derek Holland had a lot of freaky fast deliveries tonight. Another very strong outing by the Ranger left-hander. 5 strikeouts, a lot of them on the breaking ball down and into right-handers. Right there as he got Coco Crisp. And Derek was very good tonight. 3 walks and 4 hits over 6 1/3 innings of 1-run baseball. And he gives way to Sean Tollison.
And it's pretty hard for Derek to continue the role that he was on. 3 straight outings of 7 innings with no walks. They did walk a few guys tonight, but it was, Buzz. It was another solid outing. Sean Tolleson trying to come in and get out of this 7th inning. Man on first and 1 out. Sean's numbers on the season. Well, Derek won't get through 7, but it's 6 1/3 solid innings tonight. 4 straight solid outings for Derek.
And a pinch hitter for the Oakland A's. It is the hulking DH, Adam Dunn, coming off the bench to pinch hit for Nick Punto. Well, Adam Dunn, an acquisition by Oakland from the Chicago White Sox on the 31st of August. 1 ball and 1 strike. As Tolleson pulling the string on it. Done a .224 average against the Rangers this year. Just 4 for 24. They found a way to keep him under control so far. Way inside by Tolleson. Get him off the plate a little bit. Dunn 0 for 1 in previous matchups against John Tolleson. Phil Klein has joined Michael Kirkman in the Ranger bullpen. Hard hit, but pulled foul. Look out, guys.
Boy, that was pretty close. Went right between them, it looked like. Big targets, too.
Yeah, they are.
I've got a bat boy, a ball boy down there to kind of watch the hitter and protect the pitchers. That was like one of those shots in a soccer match that just, there's nothing that can do. It goes over the goalie's head. He can't jump high enough to catch it.
Little looper out in the shallow right center. Going out Elvis Andrus. He can't get it. Into second base goes Soto. A looping single on a jam shot off the bat of Adam Dunn. But the result is runners at first and second with just 1 out.
That was a good pitch by Sean. He ran that fastball in on his fist. Eric Sogard is going to come in to run. He's going to go in to play second base anyway. Dunn comes off the bench and gets a little blooper for his base hit. Ran that in right off the hands. Another guy hit that same ball. It might not go so far, but obviously a lot of power. Didn't look like a powerful hit, but might have taken all his power to make it go that far for where it hit the bat.
You got to be strong to hit something that soft and have it go out there. Sogard now the runner at first base. First and second, 1 away, back to the top of the order. Coco Crisp will now turn around and hit left-handed against the right-hander Sean Tolleson. Crisp 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts against Holland. And first ball swinging, he drives one to center. It's playable as Leonys Martin backs up. Tagging at second, bluffing a move to third is Giovanni Soto. And he knows very good and well the kind of arm that Leonys Martin has. Well, that is a very important out number 2. And we'll bring up Sam Full. Well, when we have a second here, Progressive would like to catch you up on the Rangers' remaining schedule tomorrow afternoon. We're back with you at 2:30 on Fox Sports Southwest. Nick Martinez and Sonny Gray will wrap things up here in Oakland. Then it's down the coast to take on the Angels for 3 Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. And the Rangers come back to Globe Life Park starting next Monday to start the final homestand of the season. 3 with Houston and 4 with these A's. Those last 4 with Oakland might have a huge bearing on whether Oakland gets into the postseason or not. See what happens last 4 days of the season. Here's Sam Full, who's the difference in the ball game so far. He rolled one through the right side up there now with first and second and 2 outs, and he takes a strike from Sean Tolleson.
Well, it's kind of a motivating factor for the Ranger players when you listen to the sports shows at night and they're saying, well, the A's have an advantage because of who their last 4 games are against. It gets you up for those games.
Yeah. The guys that have been around for the last couple of years have a little bit of a grudge against Oakland, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Full now finds himself down in the count at 0-2. Adrian Beltre with, I'm sure his personal and professional pride would love to stick it to the A's when they get the opportunity. A's shooting for something the Rangers can't attain, but Rangers can stand in their way. 0-2 pitch and a 2-hopper to Adam Rosales. He'll take it to the bag and win that race. And that'll do it. So Tollison comes in, gives up a hit, but gets the final 2 outs. The A's strand a pair. We're going to the 8th inning. A's 1, Rangers nothing.
A's by a score of 1-0. This game 2 in a 3-game series to begin this 6-game road trip. Game 3, the finale, will take place tomorrow here on Fox Sports Southwest. 2:30 first pitch. Adrian Beltre looks to continue his hot hitting against the A's. He will go up against Sonny Gray, who is 3-1 with a 1.82 ERA versus the Rangers this season. All of this glorious information brought to you by AT&T Ubers, fellas.
All right, Em, thank you. Appreciate that very much. And Jeff Samardzija back out to the mound. He will work here in the top of the 8th inning. Jake Smolinski to lead things off, and now Giovanni Soto throwing his hands up. Well, a ball had gotten loose in the A's bullpen. That's what Giovanni has seen. Coco Crisp out there in center throwing his hands up, and Giovanni knew it wasn't a new dance craze, so he asked for time, get the ball off the field. Now we're ready to go. Jake stepping back in 0 for 2 tonight against Samardzija. He struck out, grounded into a double play. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. Samardzija's next pitch is the breaking ball that evens the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jake at 367 with his average. He takes a strike to the outer corner. Defensive changes for the A's here in the 8th inning. Eric Sogard remains in the ballgame. He'll use a pinch hitter, or pinch runner, I should say. He's taken over at second. Into the game in right field is Josh Reddick. And moving from right over to left is Sam Full. 1-2 pitch from Samardzija. Skied to center. Over and in is Coco Crisp. Out number 1. Jeff Samardzija has a couple of complete games as a member of the A's this year, but he has Lou Gregerson and Sean Doolittle working in tandem in that Oakland bullpen in support. Samardzija up to 110 pitches. Kurt Young, the pitching coach, along with Bob Melvin, keep a very close eye on Samardzija. Adam Rosales is 2 for 2 tonight. He's doubled and singled. Average up to 294.
Now, the movement that Smarja has on his sinker just causes the hitters to take terrible swings. Generally, those kind of swings are at off-speed pitches when you're fooled. But the movement that he has caused the Rangers to take some swings that you don't normally see on a fastball.
Josh Donaldson, corner to corner. That's out number 2. Daniel Robertson will be next. And while we have a second here, we're going to show you tonight's fan photo selection. Folks at AT&T making all this possible. And tonight's picture comes from Kim. We appreciate that. Together since 2006. Very nice, Kim. Thank you very much. And for you folks that would like to tweet your photos and maybe have it selected to be on one of our telecasts, it's hashtag Southwest Fan Photo. And again, we appreciate AT&T making all this possible.
A pretty impressive outing for Smarja, trying to finish 8 innings. It'll be the 5th time this year that he's had a scoreless outing. Mentioned that he hasn't won any of them. Maybe the Rangers will come back and make it 5 straight where he's had one in games where he's allowed no runs. He's dealing right now.
Yes, he is.
Not tiring out, that's for sure.
No, he's feeling it. He is retired now 9 straight. And he's ahead of Daniel Robertson, no balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander back to him.
He was hoping that was his last pitch.
Yeah.
He gave it everything he had.
Whatever he had left, he spent it right there.
He's still able to get it up to 96 miles an hour on occasion.
Smarja to the wind, the 1-2. Call strike 3. Daniel knew it. Smarja with his 10th strikeout. That ties his season high. He has retired 10 straight, and he has gotten through 8 innings. 7.5 in the books. 1-0 Oakland. Back to the hill. And first pitch of the bottom of the 8th inning. Josh Donaldson is fouled out of play down the right side. 0-1.
Did he make the play?
Got fans sprawling all over the place. Fans are diving for the ball. I don't know if he's getting high five.
I don't see the ball, though.
Donaldson
there
0 for 3 tonight.
He did make the play.
Donaldson 3 fly balls to center field this evening. All 3 at bats against Derek Holland. The line for Derek Holland tonight, 6 1/3. 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Donaldson with a 1-1 pitch. He gets the call on the outside corner. When Sean came in, you saw the 20-game span, the last 20 ball games for Sean Tolleson, a 1.64 ERA. And Sean Tolleson has really thrust himself into right in the middle of the picture for 2015 at the tail end of the Rangers bullpen. 8th, 9th inning guy, 7th inning guy, say. Neftali Feliz doing his best to assure Rangers hierarchy that he is ready to resume full-time closer duties.
Yeah, there's 2 guys that are pitching right now that look great for next year, and that's not even counting Tanner Scheppers, Alexi Ogando, provided they decide to put them both in the back of the bullpen.
Beltre can't do anything with it. Couldn't get it before it took that second little hop. And Josh Donaldson coming up a little bit gimpy as he passed the bag at first base.
Yeah, that one was bouncing a little bit. If it stayed down, Adrian might have been able to make that patented throw on the run. But it kept bouncing, and he just wasn't able to catch it and throw it in any time to get Donaldson.
Leadoff single. That's going to bring Tim Bogard out of the Rangers dugout. Well, that's going to do it for Sean Tolleson. He gives up the leadoff infield single from Josh Donaldson. Donaldson aboard. And the call has been put out for the left-hander, Michael Kirkman. And we'll find out about Donaldson, and we'll tell you all about Michael Kirkman right after this timeout. We're back after this. Michael Kirkman called out of the Ranger bullpen, and this may be just a one-batter appearance for Michael. He's asked to get Josh Reddick. Reddick came on defensively, you remember, for the A's last half inning. The first pitch to him from Kirkman is a breaking ball that's in for strike 1.
Reddick has only hit 169 this year against left-handed pitching, which is why he wasn't in the lineup tonight. He's being platooned, and Michael is auditioning as a left-hander to come in and get that key left-hand hitter out in a ball game. Left-handed specialist. And if you can do that, have a good chance of keeping that job.
Yep. Keep that breaking ball right there. You're not going to find many left-handers that will do much with it.
There's a lot of left-handers who have made a pretty good living for a long time. Darren Oliver's one of them, being able to throw a left-hand hitter a curveball from the left side.
0-2 pitch. Reddick lays off that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Darren just kept getting better and better in his late 30s and into his 40s. But the key for him was be able to come in and get left-hand hitters out. Obviously, earlier in his career, he was a starting pitcher, but toward the end, he was more of a left-hander to come in when left-hand hitters were going to be up to the plate.
The 1-2 from Kirkman. Now 2-2. Yeah, Darren made the whole transition from a hard-throwing phenom coming to the big leagues to a crafty lefty later, 20 years later.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of those hard-throwing young phenoms, that's all they can do. And once they can't get people out because they don't throw hard anymore, they're done.
Little check swing roller. It's going to be a tough play for Chirinos. The throw not in time. Oh, what a tumble Reddick took. If he's not hurt, I don't know why not.
He jammed his foot right into the bag. There's a couple of little dinky infield hits to start the 8th inning.
Apparently he's okay. Yeah, a couple of ones you can't do much about.
Yeah, that's a tough one because you really can't say Michael didn't come in and throw the ball well. He threw breaking balls and then jammed him with that fastball, but not much you can do about that.
And that'll do it. That was just a one-hitter appearance for Michael Kirkman. And, you know, the results will tell you he didn't get the job done, but the eyeball test will tell you he did. So Phil Klein on now. Another pitching change underway here at O.Co Coliseum. We're back after this with the A's leading 1-0. In the 8th inning, and third pitcher employed this inning by the Rangers. That's Phil Klein now coming on to take over.
Yeah, Phil's numbers for the season. This will be his 15th ball game. This inning has started with 2 little infield hits, dribblers down the third baseline. So Phil's in a jam right here. 2 men on and nobody out in a 1-0 ball game, trying to pitch his way out of it. Tim Bogart and his staff are trying to look at guys in key situations, and the young guys are getting a chance to pitch with a game on the line, men on base against a good team right here. Good challenge for Phil.
And Bob Melvin has again gone to the bench. Stephen Vogt, who's been bothered by ankle problems, in there now as a pinch hitter from the left side with runners at first and second. Phil Klein's first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Stephen Vogt, a .303 average with 9 home runs and 32 RBI. He's hitting with Donaldson at second, Reddick at first. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. Off the glove of Chirinos, and everybody's going to advance 90 feet. A wild pitch by Phil Klein. And now runners at second and third with nobody out. Just far enough away that Robinson Chirinos couldn't get to it quickly enough to prevent the advance. Now they will go ahead and intentionally walk Stephen Vogt. They'll load up the sacks for Jed Lowry, the shortstop. And the 4th wide one is issued. So the intentional pass, Vogt. I would imagine get a pinch runner for Vogt since he has bad wheels.
And they got the big bench. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 guys on the bench. Billy Burns, it looks like.
Yep. Well, Burns, a speedster, brought up for the month of September and working with Ricky Henderson quite a bit during the year. Ricky Henderson trying to impart a little base running and base stealing knowledge to Billy Burns, but not in a situation where he can do much.
I hope he steals second right here.
That's exactly right. Yeah, to have Josh Reddick standing there asking him what in the heck he's doing. Well, base is full, nobody out. Jed Lowry, switch hitting shortstop up there. Rangers will play the middle of the infield, back, just in back of all the way in, between halfway and double play depth. Lowry is swinging a miss. It's 0-1. Lowry tonight has struck out twice and grounded into a double play. A nice 1-2-3 double play right here. It worked well. Lowry below the major league average as far as scoring that runner from third with less than 2 out. 0-1 pitch. Popped him up. That's not going to get the job done. Leonis Martin coming on, calling off Elvis Andrus. Good job by Leonis to take the easier play. And there's now 1 out. Base is still full.
Well, they haven't run out of pinch hitters yet. Fryman's the scheduled hitter.
Job by Phil Klein to get that pop up off the bat of Jed Lowry.
They got Callaspo.
Looks like Alberto Callaspo will come up as a pinch hitter for Nate Fryman.
And Callaspo's a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter whether you bring a lefty in to face him.
We were talking about Ricky Henderson. Here he is, almost in person. He's live anyway.
Those are pretty good likenesses.
They are,
guys, especially Raleigh Fingers.
I'm not sure Eck would be too pleased with his likeness. But
he looks like he's been out all night.
Looks a little bit rough. But
tell you what, those guys can run though. Watch Raleigh Fingers come from behind.
Yeah, Eck doesn't have the closing speed anymore.
No, I think he's been out all night. Raleigh Fingers, I didn't know he could outrun Ricky Henderson.
And now with Callaspo being announced and up at the plate, Tim Bogar is going to go to yet another reliever. It'll be the left-hander Robbie Ross. So they want to make Callaspo turn around and hit right-handed. And Robbie Ross will get that accomplished. The left-hander coming in. Phil Klein has gone after a third of an inning. We'll take another timeout here at O.co Coliseum. A's leading 1-0 here in the 8th inning. We're back after this.
Your attention, please.
Robbie Ross from the bullpen to the frying pan. He is right in the middle of a bases-loaded, one-out situation. Ross working to Alberto Callaspo, who's from the right side, and Callaspo swing and a miss. It's 0-1.
You know, this game, Buzz, is a good example of baseball in September and a rule change that they should make. You should be able to call up whoever you want to call, but every day submit a lineup for 25 guys. Otherwise, these are like spring training games. These games don't even resemble games in the regular season. You can pinch run. You've got 10 guys on the bench. You've got 12 pitchers. You can change a pitcher every time. You go 5 months playing normal baseball, and then in September you play games like this, and A's are in a pennant race, and it doesn't even resemble a regular season game.
I agree with you 100%. That's exactly what I think should happen.
Yeah.
Is 25 guys that activate them for that game, and you can always change off. You still have people on the bench because you don't have to activate all your starters, all your starting pitchers. So you still have an extra 2 or 3 guys on the bench to pinch run and do all the other things.
Yeah, you would have extra guys, and you can deactivate someone who pitched 3 innings the day before in relief. So you've got a fresh team. You just can't use guys like they're being used here.
Right.
Pinch hit, then pinch run, and then change position. Change pitcher after every hitter.
But it really makes it tough on the teams that, like Oakland, who's contending, obviously. But you play against a team that's out of contention. They're going to switch every time you get an opportunity late in the ball game, and that's not really, you're not playing the same game that you did a month earlier.
It's not the same game. The other thing that you could consider doing for 25 guys is you can't deactivate your starting pitchers, so that you can't, if you could deactivate your starting pitchers, you could have 2 extra men and 2 extra pitchers, and still it's not the same as the regular season. So maybe you could do it to keep the bullpens at 7 and the extra men at 4 or 5. In any event,
take care of that. Callaspo pops out, and that is out number 2. So Robbie Ross Jr. gets Callaspo a very big out. And now you'll have to face a former battery mate of his in Giovanni Soto.
The Rangers get out of this jam. Obviously, the A's are going to bring in their closer, Sean Doolittle, and he's very good. But it's not that hard to get 1 run. So if he gets Soto right here, they're missing a great opportunity to cushion that lead and go into the 9th inning in a very precarious situation.
And I think watching the A's the last 2 nights, you've understood why they're having so many problems winning ball games. Last night it was inattentive defensive mistakes, and tonight it's been not scoring. If they don't score here, it's been not cashing in when they've had the opportunities. Soto tonight 1 for 2, had a double and scored the only run of the game thus far. That was back in the 5th inning. Last time up, Giovanni walked, and now Chirinos going out to talk to Robbie Ross Jr. Bases full of A's with Donaldson, Reddick, and Burns. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Jeff Smarja has been congratulated by everybody and appears to be finished for the night. And Soto takes a strike from Robbie Ross Jr. Soto a .220 average for the year. Drives one to right. That sends Robertson back, but Daniel, with room in front of the track, puts it away, and a good job by a bunch of Ranger pitchers in that 8th inning. A's leave the bases full. We're going to the 9th, 1-0 Oakland. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. By AT&T U-verse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. And by your Texas Ford dealers, the Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event. Now playing at a Ford dealer near you. The Sean Doolittle fan club getting all wound up here as we go to the top of the 9th inning. You know, I get a brick in my neck watching those guys do that. Man. Sean Doolittle, a cult favorite here in Oakland. And on now to see if he can't close this one out.
Oh, he's closed out a lot of them. 21 out of 24, but that does mean he has blown 3 saves, so it's happened before. 83 strikeouts and 5 walks. That's a ratio.
Brandon Moss into the ball game to take over at first base for Oakland. Oh, here we go. It's the top of the Ranger order. Jonas Martin, and he's showing bunt and takes strike 1. You remember Jonas Martin, especially against left-handers, been very willing to try and drag that bunt or push the bunt, either first base or third base. He's been effective doing it. And he skies this one to shallow right field. Long run in for Reddick. 1 gone.
Just got underneath it, but he got a good pitch to hit from the left-hander.
Now Doolittle will face Elvis Andrus. Elvis tonight 0 for 3. Ground out, strikeout, fly out. And against Doolittle, Elvis 1 for 5. Also had a walk against the A's left-hander. First pitch to him. Up the middle, base hit to center field. Well, Elvis picking on that first offering from Sean Doolittle, and the Rangers have the tying run aboard with 1 out. It's the first base runner they've had since the 5th inning.
Number 12, Odor.
Fastball in the upper reaches of the strike zone, and Elvis taking it right back where it came from. So 1 on, 1 out. Rougned Odor, 1 for 3, will step to the plate. Odor 0 for 2 in his previous matchups against Sean Doolittle. First pitch is high for ball 1. You let Elvis run in this situation?
Yeah, I would. If you get a good jump. The only reason you might consider not letting him run right here is because you don't want to take that out of Beltre's hands. So no, I wouldn't. I'd want to make sure Adrian got the hit. Wouldn't take any chances.
Left center field. That's up the alley, and it is down and off the wall. Elvis being waved around third. Here comes the relay throw. Not in time. Sliding in safely at third is Rougned Odor. And the Rangers have tied the ball game. It's 1-1, and they have the go-ahead run at third with just 1 out.
Well, everything we said about Odor in the pregame show and how he's finishing strong and maturing and playing well beyond the years of a 20-year-old, you can add to that right now, coming in against one of the best closers in baseball and just turning around a high fastball, lining it over the left fielder's head. They're going to say that Odor might have not kept his foot on the bag going to third. Let's take a look.
Rougned getting it around to third pretty quickly. Elvis in safely, no doubt about that. And the challenge has been issued by Bob Melvin. So the third base umpire Lance Barksdale, along with crew chief Gary Cedarstrom, I take it back. That's Mark Rippinger, the home plate umpire, along with Gary Cederstrom, under the headsets.
This will be a huge play. Definitely safe, but does he keep it on the bag? Nope. I don't know.
Hard to tell when
when did he touch him?
When the tag stopped being applied.
Well, it's being tagged right now, and his foot's off the bag.
Yep, you're right.
That's a killer, boy. You get to third base with Beltre up, the go-ahead run.
Point umpire Mark Rippinger down there to make the call, so it looks like this is going to be overturned, and that will go in the A's favor. And once he came off the bag and was able to get back on before he was tagged.
I don't know.
But that was when he stepped off it.
Is it conclusive evidence?
Yeah. Has to be clear and convincing evidence.
Stay tuned.
And they are taking a long look at this back at the Replay Command Center in New York. Now, from this angle, it looks like he is off the bag right there. And from the other angle,
is he touching him now?
Yeah, that's what I mean. When did he stop applying the tag?
Yeah, I don't know that you can tell.
Now, here's another angle. You see when the tag was finished being applied. It's applied there and it comes off, and then steps back on.
Yeah, I don't know if he had the ball in his glove.
Gary Cederstrom with the headset on, and Mark Rippinger listening. The call on the field now is safe at third. And again, there has to be clear and convincing evidence shown to New York to overturn a call on the field.
When you're watching it from the other side and the glove is on the other side of the leg, you can't tell whether the glove's it looks like it's touching his leg, but you can't see for sure.
Yeah.
And that last view seemed to favor being safe.
Yeah. Now I don't know if they can put those two together or not. I don't know how that would work.
I think if you look at that last view, at least to my eyes, it didn't look like he touched him.
Well, certainly once he came off the bag, stepped past the bag, he got the foot back in before the tag was reapplied.
Yeah.
And it just depends on when they're going to call it. And the call is safe. Well, I got to believe that that call stands because there wasn't sufficient evidence to overturn it. And that's what it is. The call stands, and Rangers have the go-ahead run at third with one out, and Adrian Beltre is the hitter.
That's a huge call because now you've got a chance with a man on third and one out.
Well, the ruling on the field stands. And now Adrian Beltre up there, and I don't think he's going to get a chance to swing it back.
That's true.
I'm going to go ahead and walk Beltre.
Wishful thinking.
Well, the 4 wide ones will be issued to Adrian. J.P. Arancibia, the next scheduled hitter. And he is still out there, and stand to reason, being a right-handed hitter, that he would get a shot against Sean Doolittle.
You look at Odor's game tonight. He doubled in the first inning off Smarja, who threw 8 innings, 4 hits, no walks, and struck out 10. Then he doubles off one of the best closers, who happens to be left-handed, and knocks in the tying run in the 9th inning. There's been 10 strikeouts. He didn't strike out in the ball game. Had a couple of other decent at bats where he grounded out, hit one ball pretty hard right down the line that the first baseman was shading the line. Otherwise, that might have been a double too.
Another one of those cases where you saw Jeff Samardzija sitting there, no runs, and he's going to get a no decision.
Yeah, that's the 5th time.
Yep.
Odor came into the game hitting .257. He's probably over right around .260 right now. Just getting better and better as September winds down.
Well, after the intentional walk, now Kurt Young, the A's pitching coach, out there to talk to the entire infield. J.P. Arancibia will be the hitter. And you would think, I guess, with J.P. up there, you kind of remove the thought of a squeeze bunt. You don't necessarily want a guy that's not used to bunting trying to put down a squeeze. J.P. 0 for 2 in his career against Sean Doolittle. So a 1-1 ball game. Rangers have tied it up. here in the 9th inning. 1 out. Go ahead run at third base. Adrian Beltre over at first. Arancibia 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts tonight. He takes a Doolittle fastball in for strike 1. .57% of the time this year, Arancibia has been able to get that runner home from third.
Better than the league average.
Yep. So Odor at third, Beltre at first. 0-1 the count as Doolittle sets. Popped up, foul behind home plate, and it will run the count to 0-2. Natali Feliz getting ready in that Ranger bullpen. Down the coast, the game between the Angels and Mariners has concluded. Pitch is high. Angels won 5-0. If the Rangers cap off this win against Oakland, it would clinch the division title for the Los Angeles Angels. 1 ball, 2 strikes. High fly ball, deep to left field. Back is full at the wall. Goodbye. J.P. Arancibia, a towering 3-run home run. The Rangers lead it 4-1.
He got a low fastball on the first pitch that he took for strike 1, and he got it again, and he launched that one, boy. He golfed that thing way out of here to left field, and what a shocking 9th inning if you're an Oakland A's fan. Elvis, a solid base hit up the middle. Rubned, a rope over the left fielder's head for an RBI double. Walk Beltre, and then JP launches one to left field, and 8 innings of shutout ball for Jeff Smarja goes down the tubes.
Boy, how about Arancibia's 10th home run of the year? Right in the wheelhouse, down and in, and Arancibia got plenty of air. Breaking ball to Robinson Chirinos is low and outside. Sean Doolittle didn't even have to look. He knew where that was headed. Well up on the steps. Foul back, and 2-1 now the count. So J.P. Arancibia now with 10 home runs and 35 runs driven in. And right at 200 at bats this year. Doolittle back to the plate. Chirinos 1 for 3 tonight. JP, and you can forgive him for being a little excited. Should be excited. Robinson a .242 average. Doolittle with the 2-2. Now full count. Chirinos trying to get aboard here with 1 out. Jake Smolinski waiting to be next. Well, Doolittle has not retired any of the last 4 hitters. Chirinos trying to make that 5 straight. Payoff pitch. High ball 4, and he does make it 5 straight. Tom told you it started with that walk. I should say the base hit with 1 out. Elvis Andrus singled to center field in the first pitch he saw. Rudnet Odor pounded the alley in left center for a run-scoring triple. The intentional walk to Beltre, and then the Arancibia bomb to left field. And followed up with a Chirinos walk, and now Jake Smolinski stepping to the plate, and Bob Melvin is going to intervene. He is headed out to the mound. That's going to do it for Sean Doolittle. So Doolittle retires 1 of the 6 men that he faces here in the 9th inning. He came in with a 1-0 Oakland lead. He will depart with a 4-1 Ranger lead. And his night has come to a close. And another pitching change underway here in Oakland. We will take a timeout. We're back to the Coliseum right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Inning, Sean Doolittle took the brunt of the Ranger explosion. He gave up 4 runs on 3 hits in a third of an inning. And he is responsible for Robinson Chirinos at first, and he gives way to Jesse Chavez, the veteran right-hander.
Yeah, he's been an important pitcher for the A's this year. He stepped into a void in the rotation early and did a great job. Dejected look for Sean Doolittle, their fine closer, who just didn't have a good night tonight. That's the way it goes for closers sometimes. Tough job, boy.
Yep.
Looks easy when you mow them down 1, 2, 3, but nights like this shows how hard it is. Get those final 3 outs in a 1-run game. You go back to the half inning before it. The A's had the bases loaded, nobody out.
A shot off Chavez that caroms out to second base. Coming in to make the play, Sogard just able to get Robinson Chirinos at first. And Tim Bogart going to go out and have a little conference with Gary Cederstrom. Excuse me, that was Jake Smolinski. Not Chirinos. Chirinos down at second.
Like he's safe.
Yeah, it looked like it from there, didn't it? And we're going to have another challenge issue. It looks like the Rangers have a pretty good chance of winning this one. And Smolinski getting across the bag just in time and saying what as he was called out, but that'll get overturned. It's okay, Jake.
They're just saying, Buzz, to go back to that last half inning when they had the bases loaded, nobody out, and couldn't score. And you got a 1-run lead, but
right,
boy, that's an inning where you've got to take advantage of that situation, put a few more on the board. They weren't able to do it, but the Rangers did. Anything can happen in a 1-run game. Doesn't matter if it's Dennis Eckersley or who it is out there.
Yeah,
you can scrape together a run every now and then. Generally not 4, but.
And here's what the folks in New York at the Replay Command Center are looking at. Foot is down there. The ball not quite to the glove yet, so that shouldn't take too long for him to get that word back here to the Coliseum in Oakland. Gary Cederstrom on the left, the first base umpire, and safe at first is the call. So the call is overturned. Jake Smolinski will be at first base. Still just 1 out with Chirinos at second. And Adam Rosales will come to the plate. So Tim Bogart getting the favorable reply on his challenge. Minute and 20 seconds is what it took to get that call overturned. Adam Rosales, who is 2 for 3 tonight, will step in against Jesse Chavez. Sean Doolittle hasn't stopped pacing yet, and I don't think he's going to for a while. Chavez to the outside corner with strike one. Derek Holland off the hook tonight. Pitched extremely well for 6 1/3. Left trailing 1-0. Rangers have answered here in the 9th inning.
Could have had 6 men in a row reach base in one way or another. Inning started with a fly ball to left field. 1 up, 1 down. Hasn't gone real well since then for the A's.
Sure hasn't. Rosales swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Jesse Chavez has that cut fastball that he throws, and you look at the job he did as a starter. He had 21 starts for the season, 135 strikeouts in 145 innings. He was pitching really well for the A's.
Rosales fouls it back. Now, he was one of those guys, Tom, you were talking about, the impetus for the trades for the 2 Cub pitchers, Marja and Hamels, and then the trade for John Lester. Not knowing what Chavez could do as the season went on. He had not started before.
And to pitch that many innings, he's obviously a slightly built kid. Would he be able to throw 180 innings and withstand September in the pennant race?
Rosales taking that breaking ball that hangs inside, 2-2. Rosales back in. Chirinos at second, Smolinski at first. And a looper into left center field. That is going to be down for a base hit. Chirinos had to wait to make sure it was going to fall, so he stops at third. And Rosales with a looping single, his 3rd hit of the night. And the Rangers have loaded the bases with 1 out.
Well, this is the inning that's just not going to end for the A's. Long balls, hard hit balls, bloopers, walks, intentional walks.
Now batting, Daniel Robertson.
That one right off the end of the bat, but found a hole over short between the left fielder and the center fielder. Now the Rangers have loaded him up.
Yep. Well, Daniel Robertson up there will try to unload him. Daniel 0 for 3 tonight. Chavez misses down and away with that cutter. Robertson a couple of strikeouts and a ground ball to second. Rangers now with 4 runs on 9 hits. 5 of those 9 have come in this inning. 1-1. He's playing the corner men of the infield up even with the bag. Both Donaldson and Moss. Chavez misses low. It's 2 balls and a strike. Next pitch. 2-2. Robertson, who takes his time getting back in the batter's box. Chavez sets. Call, strike 3. Daniel caught window shopping, and Chavez gets the 2nd out of the inning. Base is still loaded, and back to the top of the order for Leonis Martin. And Bob Melvin going to make another pitching change.
Is that a strike? Let's look. It was. Wow, it didn't look like it.
Yeah. So that'll do it for Jesse Chavez. He leaves the bases full and 2 outs here in the 9th inning. 4 runs across. And we'll be back to tell you about Fernando Abad when we come back after this timeout on Fox Sports Southwest. A nightmare tonight for the Oakland A's, specifically Sean Doolittle. And Neftali Feliz is all loosened up and ready to come in if the score stays the way it is. Fernando Abad coming out of the A's bullpen to take over. And he will face Leonis Martin with the bases full and 2 outs.
It's been a good season for Fernando Abad. He's pitched frequently. He's got a great ERA, great opponent's batting average. But can he get out of the 9th inning right here? That's the question.
Well, Leonis Martin, who started this 9th inning by flying out to right field, will lead. I should say will hit first against Fernando Abad. Chirinos, Smolinski, and Rosales, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. 1 ball, no strikes. Leonis 0 for 4 tonight. Along with the fly ball, he has struck out twice and grounded out. Abad reading the signs from Giovanni Soto. That pitch fouled back to the screen. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Leonis 0 for 3 in his previous matchups with Fernando Abad. Trying to break this game open right here. Rangers have put 4 on the board here in the 9th. And the base is full for Martin. Out of play to the left. 1-2. Leonis back in the batter's box, hitting out of that slightly open stance against the left-hander Abad. Check swing and hit him. Fastball coming in, and that is going to add to the Ranger run total. It is going to be a 5-1 Ranger lead, and Leonis Martin shaking that left arm as he's headed down to first base. Kevin Harmon, the trainer out there, to take a look at him very quickly. So a base is full, hit by pitch.
The Rangers have reached base almost every way you can this inning. Let's see what happened. The A's haven't balked yet.
No.
Looking for a balk right here. Runs the fastball in, and someone got hit just like that last night.
Yep. That back arm, the left arm, of Leonis Martin. That'll sting. He's down there at first and checked out okay. Kevin Harmon and Tim Bogart making sure Leonis is all right. So it's now a 5-1 Ranger lead. They've scored 5 times here in this 9th inning and still have the bases full. Elvis Andrus got all of this started in the 9th with a 1-out single. 1 ball, no strikes. Elvis 1 for 4. That batting average at .262 as he faces Abad. Elvis 1 for 4 in his career against the Oakland left-hander. To the right side, off the glove of Moss, fielded by Sogard, but he has nowhere to go with it. In to score is Smolinski, and Elvis Andrus with his 2nd hit of the inning drives in the 6th Ranger run. It is 6-1 Texas.
Well, if Abad had covered first base on the play, I think that Sogard might have had a play at first base, but he didn't cover first, and obviously Moss can't get back after he dove for the ball. But you see Abad, he's just watching. No one covering, and he's got the ball in plenty of time to throw to first. Just no one there.
So the 12th Ranger to come to bat in this 9th inning. Rougned Odor, who drove in the first run with a yapper to left center, a triple, takes a strike from Abad. Odor's 2nd hit of the night. Both of them have been extra bases. A double and a 3-bagger. Abad ready for the 0-1 pitch. Chopped just foul outside the bag at first. And the count moved to 0-2.
So close to getting that last
right.
out. Just not quite.
Yeah, and when things go bad for you, it seems like everyone's like that, isn't it?
It does. Amazing how hard it can feel. It can feel impossible to score a run sometimes.
Yep.
And then other times it doesn't matter what you do. You can't help score runs. Sure wasn't easy to score runs against Jeff Samardzija. I know that.
Blowing outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. At some point, this Oakland ball club's got to feel like they're pretty much snake bit. Whatever could go wrong has gone wrong for them. Bob Melvin, not much a skipper can do to shake that. 1-2 pitch to Odor. And another chopper foul.
Boy, he's hanging tough against left-handed pitchers, boy. And Abad, you look at the numbers that he had, a 160 opponent's batting average, a 150 ERA, whatever it was. He's throwing good curveballs right now, and Rougned's hanging in there. If he hangs one of those things, he's going to rip it down the right field line.
Sure is.
He's lucky he hasn't hung the last 2 pitches. He's right on him. Sean Doolittle going to have a hard time getting over this one tonight.
That ball is hit high in the air and deep to right field. Into the corner goes Reddick. He is at the wall and makes the catch.
He just missed a grand slam.
Yes, he did. No, that'll do it. But the Rangers, with 6 in the 9th inning, have spoiled Sean Doolittle's night and will go to the bottom of the 9th inning. J.P. Arancibia putting an exclamation point on a 6-1 Ranger lead. So not yet. He will be available if necessary, but Robbie Ross Jr. going to make sure that that's not necessary. He's back out to pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. And Robbie now the pitcher of record for the Rangers. He got the last 2 outs of the bottom of the 8th inning. And 2 big outs, as it turns out. He came in with the bases loaded and 1 out and got a pop out in a fly ball. Eric Sogard will start off the bottom of the 9th. 1 ball, no strike. Sogard with his first at bat of the night. He came on defensively in the 7th inning. Robbie Ross fires a strike to make it 1-1. With all the moves that Bob Melvin made, used up that entire bench. He doesn't have much left. He has Andy Perino, Greg Gentry, who's got that rib cage problem, and Anderson, and that's it.
Yeah, the Rangers turned their complete lineup around.
Beltre stops and fires, 1 gone.
They went from all left-handed to all right-handed now. I mean, all right-handed, all left-handed.
Back to the top of the order, Coco Crisp will step in against Robbie Ross Jr. Crisp 0 for 4 this evening. He has flied out twice and struck out twice. The outside corners, Robbie came in with a breaking ball on the first pitch. The Rangers trying to close out this win over the A's, and it would be the 5th consecutive win for the Rangers. Would tie the most consecutive wins this year for the ball club. The first time since April 15th through the 19th that the Rangers have been able to string together 5 consecutive wins. Out of play off the bat of Crisp, and the count is 0-2. Derek Holland will have no decision tonight, despite another solid outing, his 4th consecutive very good outing, coming back to join the club's rotation. Check swing, call, strike 3. And Crisp angrily headed back to the A's dugout. There are 2 gone, and Sam Fuld now the last hope for the A's.
Now, Crisp is not a guy that strikes out a lot. 61 times this year is not a lot in today's game. He struck out 3 times tonight, though.
Now, Sam Fuld at the plate, 1 for 4 tonight. Had an RBI single in the 5th. Takes strike 1. Other than the RBI base hit, a couple of 3 groundouts, I should say. And he's going to make it 4, and this should do it. Odor on to first, and that is a winner. As improbable as it seemed about 45 minutes ago, J.P. Arancibia and the Rangers come all the way back, trailing 1-0, going to the top of the 9th inning against Sean Doolittle, and they break loose for 6 runs in that top of the 9th and win going away, if you can do that after a 6-run 9th. 6-1 the final. It took 3 hours and 37 minutes here, but the Rangers got it done in 9. So a very nice win for the Ranger Ball Club. Their 5th in a row. And congratulations to the Los Angeles Angels as they clinch the American League West with their win and the A's loss here tonight. The A's now have just one option, and that would be a wild card berth. And they now just have a 1-game lead over Kansas City and a 2-game lead over Seattle. A very good win tonight for the Rangers, a comeback win against a very tough ball club, and Rangers have to feel very good about what they were able to accomplish in that 9th inning, and they did not waste a great outing by Derek Holland. They came back and made that stand up, even though Derek didn't get the win. Robbie Ross Jr. got the win, but it was a good come-from-behind win. Let's head down to the field. Emily Jones is standing by with JP Arancibia. Em?
Yes, guys, thank you very much. JP, a real pitcher's duel there for a while, and then the 9th inning came. What gives there?
I don't know. He's one of the better closers in the league, obviously, and Samardzija, you got to tip your cap. I mean, I think obviously he wasn't giving up too many hits, and he was dominating us pretty well. So, you know, it was nice, you know, to be able to have a guy on third, and Odor, Elvis, all these guys, you know, doing what they need to do, and you know, gave us an opportunity to win. When
they intentionally walk Beltre to get to you, does that fuel the flames a little bit?
Well, anytime. I mean, I'm a guy who feels like I can do some damage, and anytime that happens, I'm like, all right, you know, that's something. But before that, I had 3 strikeouts, so I think that they were thinking, you know, hey, AB is one of the best in the league. So I understood it, and I wanted to just get the job done, really, not do anything special. And when I hit the ball, I knew I had hit it out.
Talk about the performance of Derek tonight. Another solid outing for him. I know he would have liked to have gone deeper, but to see the way he's come out, it's got to be impressive to you guys as his teammate.
Yeah, no, he's great. I mean, he's a hard worker. He really, I mean, 3 days before start, he's watching his iPad and watching their hitters and watching how he's pitched to them and how lefties pitch to them. And I mean, he studies the game. He has a game plan when he goes out there, and he's prepared. And that's all you can really ask. And to come out and obviously, you know, deal with what he's dealing. Obviously, he's not 100% yet, but he's still going out there and giving us a chance every time he pitches. It's impressive.
And then finally, JP, it's kind of strange. You play spoiler for the A's here tonight a little bit, but allow the Angels, I don't know if you know this, to clinch the division tonight. How does that make you feel?
Well, my motto for the last few weeks has been crushing dreams. And, you know, I think that the Angels put themselves in a place where no one can do that. So, in other words, we had an opportunity to do it here. You know, when Atlanta came in, they're in it, and the teams that we're playing are in it. You know, we're not going to the playoffs. Might as well keep other people from going too.
5 straight isn't bad. JP, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on the home run. Thanks very much, guys. We'll send it back up to you.
All right, Emily, thank you very much. Yeah, the Rangers getting a 6-1 victory here tonight. They make it 2 in a row over the A's. We'll come back to Odacco Coliseum and wrap things up right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.